FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
When it comes to mixing drugs, you may think you have a safe approach, but the bottom line is, mixing drugs is never safe. It can cause serious health problems like a heart attack or brain damage. Learn more at cdc.gov/stop-overdose.
Excuse me, garçon. I'll pick up the tab for the lady and I.
Sir, this is Monopoly money.
And there's more where that came from.
I'm calling the cops.
Don't waste your time. I have a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Start playing for real money. New Monopoly scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have real cash wins of up to $1 million. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.83 to 4.28. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday starting to see that rain-snow mix move into the Triangle. It ends as all snow heading into the afternoon with a dusting possible. Any moisture left over refreezes heading into Tuesday morning with lows in the teens and lower 20s. A WRAL weather alert day at least today. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 277 points to 47,677.
Here's Mensah, the snap, rolls to the right, wants to throw, waits, looking, back over the middle, he's got it! It's Hazley for the touchdown! Morris tossed to the right, they want to throw back, it's Taylor, wants to take a shot, fires downfield, it's intercepted! Luke Burkott with the pick, and the Blue Devils, for the first time in 36 years, are champions of the ACC!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Monday, everybody. It was an exciting weekend, a lot going on. I'm Tim Donnelly. Max Gorin producing the show, sitting in for Dennis today. There's a little bit of housekeeping we have to get to before we jump into the big 3 at 3. First of all, we will open up the phone lines at 4:15. Little Monday Soundoff action. A little over an hour from now. Whatever you want to talk about. Canes not finding a spark. Duke football winning the ACC Championship. The college football playoff rankings. College basketball. What some would say the most important AP poll of the year. There's a lot to get to. So at 4:15, we'll open up the phone lines for your takes on any of those and whatever other sports topics you can come up with. Also, we are officially in a different kind of sports season here on 99.9 The Fan. That would be the giving season. So we are back with our station tradition. We call it the 10 Days of CanesMas, presented by Hardee's and Surfside Vodka. Starting later today at about 4:45, we'll take calls. I'll go into the magical red hat that I have here and pull out a gift, a CanesMas gift for one of our listeners here. Some really cool stuff. There's speakers, there's coolers, there's penny hockey.
It's a fun,
there's
fun penny hockey game that you and I played.
There's so much cool stuff. Cool stuff, excuse me. So That's at 4:45. Just kind of giving you guys the lay of the land, the menu for today's show. Now that all that's set, we can jump right into the big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Canes had an up-and-down weekend. The up, a 6-3 win over Nashville. It could have been more. The down, a 4-1 loss to San Jose. Saturday to Sunday. I think I see these games, specifically the loss, right? The win, it's great, right? Jackson Blake had some cool plays to make. Brandon Bussey got the win, right? There's the win, good stuff.
I had a nice view of that Jackson Blake goal. It was so sick. Him dangling in there on the backhand and throwing it up top shelf.
Every once in a while, Jackson Blake makes a play where it feels like he's the only 16-year-old playing with 13-year-olds, and he's just messing around. He's just like, oh, let me see if I can pull this off. And then he does so perfectly. The only difference is he's in the NHL playing against an NHL defenseman. But that was definitely one of them, right? So there was good. I don't want to gloss over the win, but when there's a win and then a loss between it, it does taint it a little bit. And I actually think I see the loss and their two most recent losses a little bit different than everybody else, right? Because they had the 5-1 loss to Toronto. They had the 4-1 loss to San Jose. And I think many look at those and just say, they never got going. They never got a spark. They don't have any energy, which I agree with as far as not having a ton of energy. And then it doubles when you hear somebody like the captain, Jordan Stahl, who scored, by the way, yesterday on the power play, saying things like this.
A little more 50-50 hockey and kind of just hoping for an easy game and not really willing to grind it out and give them nothing and play our style. It's we had a good thing rolling for a bit and then we don't, and then we do, and then we don't, and it's kind of starting to get a little frustrating. Tonight was a game that we should have been ready for and should have been ready for a hard game, and we were not.
The one little thing that I see differently is everyone's talking about they need a spark. They don't have a spark. I think they're getting the spark. They're not building off of it, right? I said this after the Toronto game, right? They lose 5-1, but when they're down 2-0 and they get the no-look pass from Gostisbehere to Jarvis and it's a great play and it's a highlight, that should be the thing you cling to and changes the game. When Jordan Stahl scores a power play goal to tie it up, how in the world do you not have the most energy you've ever had after that? This is the first power play goal in years. How in the world does that not spark you? It's not like it's one thing if you're just waiting around for someone to make a play and it just for whatever reason doesn't happen. It's another thing when someone makes the play and your heart rate doesn't spike at all. In the two losses most recently, that's what I felt. I felt like they made the play and then didn't just capitalize on it. And that's a completely different beast, right? You got to be able to ride the wave. You got to be able to grab the momentum in the room, particularly at home, and find a way to turn one goal into three.
There was a lot of, I thought, some nice east-west kind of passing going on. But again, they just kind of lacked that finish. I don't think it was the same as some of these other games where it just looked like they could never really get off the ground because I thought they had opportunities. But, again, it's something that's plagued the Canes time and time again for a long time. Just feels like every now and again the finishing dries up. And, yeah, you're waiting around looking for these great chances and you're making a couple good passes, but they're kind of struggling to get to the middle of the ice when it comes to the offensive zone and the power play, and they're just not getting those shots on at the right time. It's credit to the defense of the other teams as well. They're doing a good job of clogging up those lanes and making it a lot tougher.
Yep. And I mean, I don't want to take a step back. You always credit the other team. You tip your cap, right? They play well. They're getting paid too. The Canes are good enough that there's very few teams that should be able to make them look the way they've looked as far as disheartened.
Yeah.
They're skilled. And we'll get back to that game later on in the show because right now it's time for number 2 in the big 3 at 3.
Number 2.
Duke football ACC champions.
What a game.
2-3. I mean, what a game as far as competitive. I don't know if quality.
Well, no, but it was just a fun watch.
It was a real back and forth. Listen, Duke didn't make the rules, right? And then the rules are already changing. I don't know if everybody has seen this, but there's already been reports that next year, if the season plays out the exact same way it did this year, Duke's in the college football playoff. Because next year, all 4 Power 4 conference champions automatically get in. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some changes to the tiebreakers in the ACC before then. But
is that the case? Is that new for next year, like
new
the Notre Dame
year.
thing?
Yep. So the Power 4 conference champions will all get in, and Notre Dame gets in guaranteed if they are in the top 12, even if that means 11 and 10
bumping them out,
get skipped over. That's just for next year. Obviously, this year has been a calamity of a bunch of different types. But I want to, we'll come back at 3:15 and talk CFP. It's ridiculous, dumpster fire, whatever you want to call it. Duke won the Atlantic Coast Conference. That you can't take that away, right? You cannot put them in the CFP, which obviously happened, but you cannot take away, like, banners hang forever, rings hang forever, or worn forever, whatever you want to call them. Duke won the football Atlantic Coast Conference Championship. That right there is a feather in the cap of Manny Diaz, of everybody involved in that program, of a team that, quite frankly, gets overlooked quite a bit based on what they have going on the other side of campus, what they have going on the other side of the conference. Give them credit for finding a way and staying locked in. I mean, I wrote them off. I think many did. Right? When you lose the games they've lost throughout the year, it's easy to go into the tank or start thinking about the portal or start, fracturing. They obviously stayed together and won a game. Won a championship, I should say. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
College basketball this weekend. Duke beats Michigan State. That is a top 10 matchup. Duke now undefeated, 10-0. They beat Michigan State 66-60. We'll talk about this really throughout the year, but it is incredible. Maybe it's an 8 and you can't teach it. Duke plays the one-possession games late so much better than even last year. I think last year they had more dynamic athletes, but I don't know, like their heart rate seemed to really, really jump when it came down to the last 3 or 4 minutes of a close game.
Yeah.
This year they're just more calm.
Yeah, Cooper Flagg had some tough moments in the close games last year, whereas this year so far Duke has been able to do exactly what they need to do in those crucial moments in the last minute or so of games.
And it wasn't just Cooper Flagg. Con Kadipple had some turnovers. They obviously in the biggest game of the year, Sion James had some weird inbounding issues. But this year it just seems like they know they're going to win. And maybe it's because they haven't experienced a loss yet, so it's easy to be confident before you get punched in the mouth. But they beat a really good team in Michigan State on the road to keep their undefeated season alive. UNC beat Georgetown 81-61. I'm getting to the point where I say Henry Vasar and Caleb Wilson are the best big man duo in the country.
It's such a crazy flip they had from last year where it was like, oh, they have no size. And it's like, oh, now they have these 2 bigs that are just terrorizing everybody and getting 20-point double-doubles and stuff. It's impressive what they've been able to do to address that issue in one offseason.
And similar to what we were just saying about Duke, right? Turning what appeared to be a weakness last year into just an overwhelming strength. And sometimes it takes that, right? Sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom to turn around and go up. But that was, they're Wilson and Vasar are good. They're different, which I appreciate, right? 6'10" and 7 foot, but they do not play the game the same way, which means, based on a down, like every time down the floor, you can do something completely different with a size advantage. And really for the first time, Wilson, I think I have this right, didn't dunk against Georgetown. Just exceptional in the mid-range game and in the layup game and the finishing game, but didn't have any dunks despite being, obviously on every court that he steps on. Even next year as he goes into the NBA, I assume, he'll be one of the best athletes on the floor. No dunks, at least none that I noted watching. And I was kind of, once one of those things once you notice, like a dripping faucet, I don't think he's dunked yet. Then every time down the floor, I was noticing. And then finally, NC State beat UNC Asheville 75-63. The story of that game, not really the game. The story of that game, what Will Wade said before the game to the voice of the Wolfpack, Matt Chazanow. Here's Will Wade on the lack of edge they've had on their games recently.
Well, we haven't had an edge to us. Even in our wins, we haven't had an edge to us all year. So I've tried very calmly and very nicely. Because, look, you can only go so far with the head coach leading. I've tried to kind of let the players take the reins on everything and do things. But it just hasn't worked. This looks nothing like our teams have looked in the past in terms of just our passion, how hard we play. And we've been playing some of the wrong guys. And so today, hopefully, look, it may not be pretty, but it's going to look gritty. It's going to look grimy. We had terrible practices leading up to Auburn. That's the least confident I've ever been going into a game. And we were hoping something good would happen for us, something fortuitous would happen to us.
Woo!
That was the start. He started that interview. That was the first 45 seconds or so of about 5.5 minutes uninterrupted. And he just got more and more angry as he went along. You could hear it and we'll touch on it later. We'll play some more of that sound for you. But I mean, he kind of went in on his team in that pregame interview. And then I don't know if he was much happier. I mean, they did end up getting the win, but it wasn't super convincing against Asheville either. So, I mean, maybe we'll see how it looks against Liberty this week, but it sounds like there might be a little bit of trouble in paradise right now for Will Wade's team.
That's what stuck out to me because I didn't hear the interview pregame, and Matt Chasnow obviously did a great job. I didn't hear that interview until after I watched the game. I watched the game, but a little busy, didn't get a chance to catch all the pregame stuff. I didn't see a team that was going out there looking for a fist fight. You know what I mean? He's like, it might not be pretty, but it's going to be gritty and grimy. I watched the whole game, and I didn't go wow, that team's really gritty and grimy. And then after the game to hear that, I'm like, ooh, he's pulling out all the cards, and I'm not sure that one landed, which is an interesting place. We'll have to see. And yes, we will play more of that audio for you because it is electric. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You know what else is electric? The CFP rankings reveal when the CFP committee decides they're just going to go all haywire and throw everything out and start afresh. We have audio from the committee chair and our reactions next.
Tim, I'm receiving an important update.
Ooh, are you getting night vision?
No, I just found out you could get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender.
So, no night vision?
No night vision.
Learn more at NavyFederal.org/auto loans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for the Butcher's Market. And you know the holidays are here, and if you're looking for the perfect gift, I've got you covered. A membership to the Butcher's Market Steak of the Month Club. You'll get a different hand-cut steak every month for 6 months. Some serious holiday sizzle. And there's more to celebrate. The Butcher's Market was just awarded the North Carolina Small Business Retailer of the Year. With 5 Triangle locations, it's easy to shop local this season. Visit thebutchersmarkets.com. That's thebutchersmarkets.com.
Welcome home. Your home is more than just walls and windows. It's where your story unfolds. At Baker Home Exteriors, we understand that every detail helps write that story. For over a century, our parent company, Baker Roofing, has set the standard for excellence. And now we're bringing that same dedication to your home. From roofing and siding to windows, gutters, and more, our craftsmen transform houses into the sanctuaries you've always imagined. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com to begin your home's next chapter.
Come see Atlantic Spas and Billiards' brand new showroom. More wellness to experience with state-of-the-art Tilo saunas to see, more hot spring and Caldera hot tubs to sit in, and a full-service billiard and dart pro shop. Shop for awesome holiday gift ideas from grills to game tables. Outdoor recreation takes center stage with ping pong, foosball, pool tables, and more. Remodeling floor models and demos available for great pricing. Shop now and experience the beautiful brand new showroom, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Glenwood Avenue, Raleigh, AtlanticSBNC.com.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We didn't exactly get all that frightful winter weather that we were predicted to get.
It was kind of coming down there for a minute in the first segment, but I think it kind of stopped now. Got a good 10 minutes in there.
Oh, go run outside, take a picture, right? There's nothing that'll make everybody run to social media than the first dusting of snow. Everybody's got to take a picture out their window and post it and just say, like, oh, it's great. Either way, The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Nothing will actually, this might be the thing that will get people to social media faster than a snow. The college football playoff rankings came out, the final on Sunday, and Notre Dame not in, BYU not in, Miami is in, Duke not in. There is, quite frankly, this is how I'm choosing to look at it. The rankings are what the rankings are. And what I mean by that is 12 teams get in. The 13th team is always going to be mad. The 14th team is always going to feel snubbed. Someone is always going to be furious. We see it in college basketball every year, right? If you're not winning your conference championship or in, the next 35, I forget how many at large, 31 at large, if you're not in that group, do you really have a leg to stand on as far as being mad? Probably not. Are they mad every year? Yes. So if you're a Notre Dame fan and you're furious, I got you. But somebody was going to miss. Am I glad that the ACC is represented? You're darn right. Why? Because I'm an ACC fan. And I think it's a catastrophe for the conference if they go empty. And it'll never happen again because what we said earlier, they've already, and I believe this was before these rankings came out, they'd already agreed that next year the power conference champions are all in. I assume the ACC will change their tiebreaker scenario so you don't get a 7-5 Duke team in there. So it's whatever it was, number 17 Virginia against number 12 Miami. But that's neither here nor there. That's all about the future. The issue that makes it one of the worst run sports entities, the CFP Rankings Committee, is the explanations. It's the lack of precedent. It's the lack of transparency. I have no problem with Miami being over Notre Dame. And I wouldn't have a problem having Miami over Notre Dame if I weren't a fan of the ACC, because Miami beat Notre Dame. But if you think it's logical to have Miami be below Notre Dame for every single weekly ranking, only to flip them after a week where neither of them played, that makes absolutely no sense. Why did BYU fall for losing in their conference championship, and Alabama stayed exactly where they are despite losing in their conference championship?
And, they also lost to Florida State, who went 5-7 this year, and that game was not close.
No, but with the weekly updates, where Alabama was going into the conference championship should have taken in the Florida State loss. Now you lose in the conference championship, you could say, we don't punish people for losing in conference championships because that's still better than everybody that wasn't in their conference championship. Except BYU moved down for playing in their conference championship. So which is it? Can you move down or can you not? Here's Hunter Yurachek, the committee chair on why Alabama stayed in the CFP in the college football playoff after the SEC championship game loss.
We evaluated all of those conference championship games and felt like in the end, regardless of Alabama's performance yesterday, their body of work in those first 12 games where they had probably the best win, arguably this season, winning at number 3 Georgia, having a win against Vanderbilt, wins against Tennessee as well. Their strength of schedule was the highest in the top 11, and we felt like in spite of their performance yesterday in the conference championship, they deserve to stay in that 9 spot.
It's just a lack of consistency. It's just a lack of applying logic to one team and applying the same logic to the other team. Even you could go year over year. Remember, and we did weeks on it, when Florida State was kept out of the 14 playoff, even though they were undefeated, and the justification was, well, they lost their quarterback, and that's impactful, so they're not as good as they were when they won most of those games. Why wasn't Ole Miss crushed for losing their play caller? Go look at Ole Miss pre-Lane Kiffin and post-Lane Kiffin. Different team all entirely. It is a lack of consistency. And all I ask for in sports is consistency. I don't care if you do it by committee, but the committee has to be so utterly transparent on we were tied here. We were handcuffed, right? We could not knock down BYU without also knocking down Alabama because that is consistent across different conferences.
And both of them played a similar level
Yes.
in terms of like their performance in the championship game. Both were not even close.
Yep.
Both got smoked. I mean, and then when you factor in like Bama's got 3 losses and BYU has 2, and yeah, they're to the same team. And look, if you don't want BYU to stay in because of how they've played, like you can't keep Alabama in. You can't at least not even drop them a spot. Like, how do they not move at all? I didn't think they were going to score on Saturday.
But see, here's the crazy thing. They couldn't drop Alabama down because then that would likely move Notre Dame up, which wouldn't make any sense because then they wanted to put Miami over Notre Dame.
Well, they could have put Miami and Notre Dame in.
Because the way that their previous rankings had gone.
It's
right?
The issue, I guess, at hand now is the weekly rankings, because then once the resumes become complete, it kind of contradicts what they've been saying. Is that the main issue here, or
I'm against everybody saying that you should get away with weekly rankings because then Notre Dame wouldn't know that they were jumped. No, you keep the weekly rankings because you need transparency. I want them to live stream the committee meetings. I want them to air the conversations. The thing is, with transparency, you also have to be good at your job. If you put out bad rankings last week, then your final rankings will seem helter-skelter. They'll seem thrown together. If you put out good rankings last week and use the same logic you used to build the rankings last week this week, use the same points of emphasis, the same statistics, the same metrics, whatever you want to call it, then this one would be easy. You'd be able to say, no, Notre Dame can't be above Miami because, all of these reasons we had last week haven't changed. When in actuality, if they were going to take head-to-head as that important, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, Miami should have been over Notre Dame. Then Notre Dame's not jumped. Notre Dame knew all along that the head-to-head was going to hold them back. It's not changing the structure unless you're going to go to if you're going to go back to BCS or you're going to find an equation that truly takes it all out of human hands. That's one thing. But if you're going to have a committee, it's not about changing the committee. It's about making the committee good at their job. It's about making them have common sense. It's about making them, if they want to, and this is not an exaggeration, the committee and all of the committee members should be at a press conference like at the end of the Ryder Cup, right, where they have the 2 tables, like stadium seating, and everyone's there. And every team should be allowed to send a coach, an athletic director, somebody to question the heck out of them. It should be that serious. This is $1 billion industry. If you make the CFP, you get $4 million per team, plus more for each win. This is not small business. This is not, because we said so, and leave like you're talking to a toddler and you're explaining why they can't have dessert. This is like, people's jobs are on the line.
I feel like they didn't question Juracek enough about that Florida State game for Alabama. I feel like that kind of got glossed over in all of this. I don't know.
Nobody even, I watched, and keep in mind, like everybody else, I'm known to look down at my phone or walk in the other room and get a drink or whatever when I'm watching. I didn't hear him mention that Alabama lost to Florida State. I watched the whole run-up show. I watched it all. I didn't even hear Florida State mentioned.
Convenient.
Of
course. ESPN would not mention that Alabama lost to Florida State this year.
But the thing is, if you're really gosh darn good, you don't shy away from that. You explain why that didn't overcome this other thing. And then it's not, because right now everybody, Notre Dame, everybody from the Big 12, they're screaming about how ESPN and the College Football Committee and the College Football Playoff, which are all in a business partnership, and ESPN is also in a business partnership with the ACC and the SEC. It's all corrupt and it's a conspiracy theory. If you had good answers, none of that doesn't have a leg to stand on. If you have good answers, it's very simple. Oh, no, it has nothing to do with our relationship with the ACC. The reason why this happened is this. And last week and last year, these are other examples of that metric being the most important thing. Or the second most, or being the deciding factor, however you want to word it. It's
their answers just created more questions. Like every week when they're asked about Notre Dame, Miami, and they're like, well, we don't have them in the same competitive pool.
Yeah, they're not.
Well, so now that BYU lost, now they're in the same competitive pool because you can't look at them right next to each other and justify putting Notre Dame ahead of them because they played each other and Miami won. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, well, why was the ranking that way for so long? Recency bias? I mean, that's a lot of what has to do. I mean, I think that's a lot of...
It opens you up to, the ACC was going to get shut out and you couldn't let that happen, so you had to come up with a reason to move up Miami. And I don't necessarily think that has to be the only way what they did makes sense. But if you don't give a good answer, that's going to be what everybody thinks you did.
You think if Alabama lost to Florida State in November instead of August, that they would still be in?
No, absolutely not. But they'll openly say, like, how you finish the season
and
matters.
You do have to give credit for team getting better. But, I mean, it also has to matter, though.
And I don't even say this for Notre Dame. Like, Notre Dame started 0-2. You start 0-2, the chips are stacked against you, right? The cards are stacked against you. They made a valiant comeback attempt, finishing on a tear. It wasn't enough. I'm sure that's frustrating. But it wasn't enough. Shouldn't start 0-2. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have a Monday Soundoff if you want to voice your opinions on the CFP. 4:15, a little less than an hour from now, we'll open up the phone lines, the Heister Automotive Group hotline. You can talk about whatever you want, including something like the Dean's List, which we're going to do next. Stick around. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. This time of year, I mean, you heard us talking about it earlier, right? Everybody's promising snow. Well, it turns out it's not snow. Maybe it's a wintry mix, but it's still cold. Either way, you're running your heater. Maybe you got the fire on. Maybe you accidentally left a window open. Now your house is freezing. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. If you're overworking your heating system, and you haven't had Maynard Service Company come out for a maintenance check, a service check, to make sure it can handle the additional workload that you're going to be putting on it at this time of year, you need to get on it now, right? You want to be calling them for a service checkup, a maintenance checkup, rather than in the middle of the night when it's 20 degrees outside and your heater breaks. But they're there for that too, but you'd rather them come out and check on it, periodically, set up a service schedule. The number to call, 919-361-0993. They don't just work on heating systems, cooling systems, plumbing, electrical, the works. 919-361-0993 or visit them online, MaynorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. 2 minutes of gold coming up next, all about the Canes' loss yesterday, but also the Dean's List. Don't go anywhere.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
The holiday rush is on, and Soundstation and Security is here to help. With the largest inventory on the East Coast, if they don't have it, we probably do. Did you know that Soundstation and Security can install Apple CarPlay or Android Auto on your car? Plug in your phone, have your texts read to you, see your navigation screen, play your music, and more with a gift of CarPlay or Android Auto from Soundstation and Security, with 2 locations on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh and in downtown Smithfield. Online at myhotsound.com.
Hi, I'm Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. This holiday season, why not give a gift that truly shines? At Bailey's, we believe in making every moment special, and our carefully curated selection of fine jewelry is sure to bring joy to your loved ones. From stunning diamonds to designer jewelry and luxury watches, we have the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Gift the magic of a Bailey box and make this Christmas unforgettable. Visit us today in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, Greenville, and Charlotte. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
You know how to tell that you've picked a great gift? When you love to get it yourself. Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here with a great idea. Give Buffalo Brothers gift cards. Whenever I'm back in the Triangle, I make a beeline for Buffalo Brothers to get my wing fix, and it's my go-to spot for gifts and stocking stuffers. Now through December 24th, buy a $40 gift card for someone special and get a $10 gift card for you. Now that's a deal, baby! Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and buffbrothers.com. Aw, man! Now I want wings!
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a Monday Soundoff coming up at 4:15. Have your phones ready. Have your takes ready. Your questions ready. Whatever point you want to make on the air. Whatever you want to sound off about. That'll be at 4:15. We'll open up the Easter Automotive Group hotline for all of you. But before we get to any of that, we have to open up the airwaves for our very own Adam Gold, who's going to break down I keep saying last night. It's kind of like yesterday's.
It was last night.
Yesterday evening.
Start. And it was dark when it was over.
Oh, yeah. It's dark in the middle of the day this time of year. But yesterday evening's Canes loss, breaking it down is our very own Adam Gold and something he calls 2 minutes of gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I got 2 minutes for 2 points that the Carolina Hurricanes did not get. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Here's the deal. Carolina did not have it last night, or maybe they did, and the San Jose Sharks just sucked it out of them. Here's the thing. When you start the game like this, it's hard to come back.
Chance here for Celebrini out in front, they'll score. Macklin Celebrini gets it to Colin Graff. And the Sharks get on the board early. It's 1-0 San Jose.
30 seconds in. It's already 1-0 down. Now, bright spot. Carolina's power play with Jordan Stahl in the faceoff circle. Granted, he did not win the opening draw on Carolina's first power play. He was kicked out of the circle, but Sebastian Aho did, and the big man provided a goal.
Back for Gossesbear with Stahl in front. They score! A power play goal! The big man got in front. And Jordan Stahl. It's been a while since he's got a power play goal, but he's got one here, and the Canes have tied it at 1.
Heck, he nearly provided another goal on Carolina's next power play, but his shot from the slot was denied by Alex Nedeljkovic. That's a bright spot. Either way, Carolina does have that to draw on. Also, Pyotr Kochetkov, in spite of allowing the first goal on the first shot, which really wasn't his fault at all, I thought he played pretty well.
San Jose will spill this one out. Here's a chance by Celebrini. And Kochetkov makes the save. Now it's Jeff Skinner breaking in on the backhand, waiting. Kochetkov goes Gumby and makes the save. Giveaway here for Carolina. Delandria going to cross Skinner back to Delandria. Oh, and yet Pyotr Kochetkov stretches out the right leg and denies Delandria.
Oh, what a save. Massive save. And maybe this is a sign that Carolina's goaltending is coming around. We'll see what happens tomorrow when the Blue Jackets are here. We'll see who starts. Might be Freddie, might be Bussy, don't know. But Brandon Bussy and Pyotr Kochetkov right now both playing very well, and that is a good sign. Something that will help you sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off. For maybe, just maybe, having 2 good goaltenders right now.
Oh, if you are a superstitious person, you're going, Adam, why are you saying that out loud? Quick, spin around 3 times and throw some salt over your shoulder. Knock on wood, whatever your superstition is. We'll have more about the Canes, where they are, obviously moving into their game tomorrow later in the show. But right now, we need to hurry up and get to the Dean's List. We'll start with the obvious. Stephen Decatur High School Seahawks football players, baby. You may say, now what the heck is a Stephen Decatur High School Seahawk football player? Well, you're listening to one right now. And also, Luke Murgott, the linebacker that made the interception for Duke to win the ACC Championship, also a Stephen Decatur High School football playing Seahawk. Now, I know that doesn't actually connect us that much. There's like a decade between us playing. But, and he, won, I think, multiple state championships, and we almost won a playoff game when I was there. But hey, shout out to Stephen Decatur Seahawks everywhere. If you listened to this show, you would have been up on Luke Murgott as a stud earlier in the season. I want to say after like week 4 or 5, we talked with Manny Diaz, and I was asking him about Luke. His mom was my math teacher. I also learned that I may have been mispronouncing my math teacher's name this whole time because everybody's calling Luke Murgott, like emphasis on the got. Her last name was hyphenated. It was Fenzel, and we used to call it Fenzel Murgott. Everyone's going Murgott. So maybe I mispronounced my teacher's name. Either way, Luke led him in tackles, solo tackles, got the interception to clinch it in overtime, wasn't a starter at the beginning of the year. Seahawks football weather, baby. Do you have a Dean's List you want to throw out here?
Yeah, and it might be a bit of a broken record because I think I used this for our last Dean's List, but I'll give it to NC State men's soccer because they beat Georgetown in the Elite Eight, 3-2. It was a bit of a thriller. They scored 2 early. Georgetown scored 1 back real quick. Ended up being a 3-2 final, so they're into the College Cup Final Four, and that's going down in Cary at Wake Med Soccer Park. They'll be the second semifinal on Friday night. They're playing at 8:30 against St. Louis, and the winner will go to the final and play against either Furman or Washington. So it's been a good season for NC State, and they're trying to keep it going, and now they'll pretty much have what I figure to be a home crowd in Cary on Friday night. So the environment should be really good for that one, and a chance for NC State to further their chances at another national championship and try to get their first outside of women's cross country and the 2 men's basketball from the 70s and 80s.
That's pretty cool playing in Cary. Just like, having that work out that way is pretty cool. 2 more quick ones here for the Dean's List. Speaking of NC State, the 2002 NC State football coaching staff. You know who was on the 2002? It was a Chuck Amato staff, right? He was the head coach. Had both Kurt Cignetti and Manny Diaz on staff. Cignetti, obviously the coach of Indiana, won the Big Ten championship, #1 team in the country. Manny Diaz, Duke's head coach, wins the ACC championship. They were both on the staff of the 2002 NC State Wolfpack, which would have been like the Rivers era, right? That's Rivers and that whole
Rivers. I think the year after that is when they had the game. It was at Ohio State non-conference that they lost in, I think, overtime. But yeah, that was a strong era of NC State football, and now the coaching tree is coming complete.
Cignetti if he feels like a .com bubble or something, where it's like it can't keep rising in value this quickly. Like everything can. At some point, this is going to burst, but it's mighty fun to watch the rise. Like 5 years ago, he was making, again, there's a ton of money for us, but in coaching world, he was making $400,000 at Elon. Now he has $93 million fully guaranteed, and he's coaching the #1 team in the country.
And they're going to be in the Rose Bowl playing a playoff quarterfinal.
Last one here. Duke and Louisville men's basketball. The most important AP poll of the year. It's the joke online, but it's kind of true. Every national champion in men's college basketball since 2004, so we're going over 20 years now, has been in the top 12 of the Week 6 AP poll. That's crazy. And that's not to say they stay top 12. They can fall after they're in the Week 6 top 12. They can fall, well out, or they can move all the way up to #1 and never let it go. But in Week 6 AP poll, they have to be top 12. Duke is 3rd right now, comfortably in. Louisville is 11th. For those of you wondering, UNC 14th. Just on the outside looking in.
Wrap it up, fellas. Season's over.
Michigan, Arizona, obviously, #1. Iowa State, UConn, Purdue, Houston, Gonzaga. Michigan State, BYU, Louisville, previously mentioned, in Alabama. That does it for us on the Dean's List. But don't worry, we still have more praise we can pass out. That'll be the winner's side of winners and losers, which is coming up next right here on The Drive. Don't go anywhere.
Are you looking for great holiday gift ideas? Head to Global Golf for the holiday sidewalk sale this Friday and Saturday. Find drivers starting at $50, putters starting at $25, bags starting at $50, shirts starting at $15, and great savings on GPS watches and rangefinders. Plus, receive a free gift with purchase of $100 or more. Head to Global Golf, located in North Raleigh, 7320 ACC Boulevard, for the holiday sidewalk sale this Friday and Saturday, December 12th and 13th.
Hey, it's Meredith at Fisa Jewelers in Garner, and it's time to start updating those wish lists because Christmas is right around the corner. But don't worry, we have you covered. Our store is fully stocked with beautiful and unique pieces anyone surely would love. And if you're thinking of popping the big question this Christmas, we have handpicked the most brilliant diamonds. Plus, all of our diamonds have the low price guarantee, so there's no risk or stress. And that's why we have been voted the Triangle's ultimate bridal destination. So come in and see us today. We are located right off of Highway 70 in Garner and at FisaJewelers.com.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rates to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rates in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. Don't wait, no hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills by thousands. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hello, I'm Jen, and I work in the service department with Newcomb & Company in the Triangle. I've worked at Newcomb & Company for over a decade and can tell you firsthand our comfort contract is hands down the best way to stay worry-free and comfortable in your home. In fact, the program works so well, we have over 4,000 customers who use it. Folks love it because when you sign up for the comfort contract, you get the best service Newcomb offers. We prioritize contract members with same-day service, priority scheduling, and emergency after-hours calls. So there's no waiting when your system needs help. On top of that, Newcomb & Company is a proud independent Trane dealer. We back exceptional Trane products with our expert service, and we treat your home like it's our own. It's hard to stop a Trane, and it's hard to beat Newcomb & Company service. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com to learn more about our comfort contract. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 1 hour from now, 10 days of CanesMas starts off, presented by Hardee's. Cozy up to the goodness of Hardee's new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich, and Surfside vodka. Whether you're watching hockey or warming up by the fire, there's nothing better than enjoying your favorite Surfside canned cocktail to keep the good times going. It is basically just a way we celebrate our connection to the local hometown hockey team and give you free stuff. So at 4:45, about an hour from now, we'll execute our first CanesMas giveaway of the year, and then we'll continue them daily. In the meantime, it is time for one of my favorite segments of the week. We look at the last week, the week that was, and decide who's a winner and who's a loser. We call it winners and losers.
This team will never lose again.
It's more vibes and aura than it is scoreboard, just to let you know, right? It's like who's a winner and who's a loser. We'll hit you with this one. Monsters, Inc. And parents everywhere trying to get their kids hooked on football as a hobby. Monday Night Football tonight is going to have an alternate broadcast of the Eagles-Chargers game where they're all going to be like cartoon characters digitally recreated as the game happens in the Monsters, Inc. universe. I don't know how it's going to look, but I'm looking forward to checking it out.
It's fun day football. Maybe if like Justin Herbert's hand will be like there's I don't remember if it was like a digital short, but I remember there was a scene. It's Mike Wazowski like slams his hand like in the hood of his car or something, and he's like writhing in pain. I wonder if they do that to Justin Herbert.
I was at Disney World recently. My parents live in Orlando, and there's like a stand-up comedy bit done by Mike. It's like a whole interactive thing. So I'm all in on Monsters, Inc. They're a winner for today. Loser. And we may have to take some time on this one. Notre Dame.
Oh, my goodness. I don't think that even begins to describe it.
I'm not even, like, they're not a loser for missing the CFP, right? They went 0-2 to start their year, and they finished with a vengeance, a flurry, trying to qualify. I respect them for that. They are a loser for turning down bowl invitations after that. There's a lot of reasons why, right? A, if things don't go your way, you don't take your ball, go home. I'm not playing anymore. It's not the way to handle it. But here's the reason why. And I know that they're feuding with ESPN and they're feuding with the CFP, and they think that they're making some kind of really big, dramatic, shot across the bow, and their athletic director is on Dan Patrick's show saying that the relationship with the ACC has been permanently damaged. And fine, have those arguments in boardrooms. I played college football. I've talked with an absurd amount of college football players over the years. I've talked with an absurd amount of athletes of every sport, every level. I've never heard an athlete at the end of their career look back and say, I wish I had one less college game to play.
It's just such loser behavior. Like, oh, you didn't get your way, so you're going to take your ball and go home. Like, it's quite literally, like, that's just what, like, kids, like, on the block do for, like, two-hand touch. Like, oh, you pushed me too hard. Like,
give me the ball, I'm going home.
Yeah, I'm going home.
But
you guys.
Even if it's like, oh, well, the good players would have opted out, fine. That's a business decision on their part. They're protecting. I get that sometimes you have to make a business decision individually, but think about the Notre Dame backups, right? Bust their tail for 12, 13 games. Don't get to play that much. They get an opportunity in a bowl game. Play. See what they have. Not to mention you're passing up more practices, more opportunities to build relationships. I think we've lost the plot a little bit in college football. It's still got to be about playing college football. And if you're worried about injuries, fine. Sit everybody good. Play the walk-ons. I don't know. I hate the turning down of bowl games. Hate it. And I would say this if it was anyone else, right? There are a bunch of 5 and 7 teams that apparently got offered to replace Notre Dame, and a bunch of them turned it down. Now, that might be logistical. Some teams had already sent people home. Some teams had already sent people to get, surgeries and procedures done that they could have put off. And so they turned it down. But I don't know. Find a way to play football. If you get an opportunity to play more football, play more football. Do you have some winners and losers, Max?
Yeah, I mean, I'll extend a loser by proxy as well to Iowa State and Kansas State, who also declined a bowl invitation despite being 6-6. I don't feel I won't give that same label to the 5 and 7 teams who rejected the bid, because I understand, like, you kind of want to earn the berth of a bowl bid. I know a lot of 5 and 7 teams because they were scrambling to fill the Birmingham Bowl spot.
App State stepped up.
Yeah. I'll make App State a winner as well, because they're going to go play a rivalry game. In their bowl game against their conference foe in Georgia Southern. So that adds a little bit of juice to what otherwise would have been just like a random matchup of two different conference teams that maybe wouldn't have as much juice. Now you got a rivalry rematch in a game, and one team didn't even think they were going to be playing another game, and now they get to come out and play against Georgia Southern. So that should be a lot of fun.
What do you think about this move for bowl games? The bowl game, like, they, by order of whatever, right? Their importance, their money, I don't know how you decide, gets to pick a team, and then that team gets to publicly call out their opponent.
Oh, I like that. It's like UFC.
Could be whoever, and then they get to accept or decline, but it'd be pretty tough to decline if someone
calls you out and you look scared if you say no.
Unless you know somebody else is calling, like, there's got to be an order to it, but the call-outs would be legendary.
Oh, it would be so good, especially in college where the hatred is still... There's still some good hatred left in college sports, so you need that with all the flag planting and stuff. I'll give a winner to Hideki Matsuyama as well. He won the Hero World Challenge this weekend. Scotty Scheffler was in the field. Fun fact, Scotty Scheffler was plus 140 to win that golf tournament before it even teed off.
It's a limited field. There's
Yeah, but with most of the best players in the field.
Scotty's beast.
Like Hideki.
But Hideki's also a monster.
Yes, he went off on Sunday, something like 10 under. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but he was just hunting pins and playing well and got the win down there in the Bahamas. So Hero World Challenge, Hideki Matsuyama is a winner for me.
Let's keep it rolling. Winner, Brandon Bussey. Can't argue with the wins. He's just the 8th. By the way, if you don't know Brandon Bussey's story, he was claimed off waivers by the Carolina Hurricanes, 2 months ago? Not that long ago. He's the 8th goaltender in NHL history to earn 8 wins in his first 9 appearances, including Saturday, the win over Nashville. And, we kind of talked about this with other goaltenders that the Canes have played. He made a few timely stops early that just kind of saved his guys, and then they, he eventually gave up some goals. But if you make the right ones, it helps a ton. Like somebody's out of position, you save them, you have their back. It's a momentum thing. He's doing a good job. 8 wins in his first 9 appearances. Pretty good. Loser. Daniel Jones. I guess he popped his Achilles and he's done for the year. Former Duke quarterback, now the quarterback of the Colts. It's not a loser because he got hurt. He's a loser because of how much money he may have lost. He's due for a contract this offseason, and right, the Colts traded away the next 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. All indications were they're about to break the bank for Daniel Jones. And I still think he'll get a pretty penny, but not nearly as much as he would have gotten healthy, especially if he had played well to close out the season. So the injuries costing you literally tens of millions of dollars.
And the Colts QB room is in trouble too. I think Riley Leonard was their only healthy quarterback.
Another former Duke guy.
And he is also kind of banged up right now, and Anthony Richardson is hurt as well. So I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback for the rest of the year, because they just went from front-running their division a couple weeks ago to now they're no longer in first, and their quarterback is hurt, and they traded their first-round picks, and they just don't even, I don't know if they have anyone that can go under center and play right now. So it's a real tough.
I've got 3 names for you.
Okay.
1, they are hoping Riley Leonard can play. And I would assume if he can get to 70%, they're rolling with Riley Leonard. 2, they have Brett Rippon on their practice squad. He is a guy that has played NFL football before. I remember him in Denver. 3, I covered him in high school. Tyler Warren was a high school quarterback. Had a whole bunch of offers across the country. Did a lot of Wildcat at Penn State. Maybe he ends up getting some snaps. He'll at least be doing the tush pushing and everything. That'll do it for winners and losers here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We have, just to, again, keep you updated, we do have a Monday Soundoff coming up at 4:15. We'll open up the phone lines, let you all call in, decide what you want to talk about, and we'll react. So have your takes ready, whether it's Canes, whether it's CFP, whether it's Duke winning the ACC Championship, college basketball, NFL, whatever you want to talk about, we're here for it. That's at 4:15. But before we get to that, football at 4 coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Tim, I'm receiving an important update.
Ooh, are you getting night vision?
No, I just found out you could get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender.
So, no night vision?
No night vision.
Learn more at NavyFederal.org/autoloans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, folks, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center for 4 months, and I've lost 42 pounds. But most importantly, I've maintained that weight that I've lost as well. And you can actually get started on that program even before the new year. When everyone sets those new weight loss goals, go ahead and get started on it right now, because the Raleigh Weight Loss Center is extending their huge 20% off Lose It holiday sale all the way through December 19th with the lowest prices of the year on the amazing program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. They know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. Schedule your free 15-minute phone consultation today to see if the Raleigh Weight Loss Center program is the right thing for you. Mention the promo code LOSEIT for a discount. 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. 919-897-7506. Mention the promo code LOSEIT. Results may vary.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday starting to see that rain-snow mix move into the Triangle. It ends as all snow heading into the afternoon with a dusting possible. Any moisture left over refreezes heading into Tuesday morning with lows in the teens and lower 20s. A WRAL weather alert day at least today. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 251 points to 47,703. Market update brought to you by Blue Shark Vodka, the world's smoothest vodka. Pour Blue Shark Vodka at your holiday events to lift your spirits this season. Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is Monday, December 8th. We are just moments away from it being 4 p.m. And the Carolina Panthers are tied atop the division. I know. If it startled you, I should have told you to take a seat before I gave you that news. They are tied atop the NFC South. It's December 8th. And the Carolina Panthers completely and totally control their playoff fate.
Won the bye week. That's big.
They won the bye week in one specific way. Shout out to the New Orleans Saints. Shout out to the Saints.
Who dat?
The reason is obvious, right? They beat the Bucs, which does kind of negate the awful Panthers loss to the Saints earlier this year. Right now, the Saints have gotten to meet each once. As long as the Panthers take advantage and take care of business against the Saints in their next matchup, and then take care of business against the Bucs, they go to the playoffs.
Well, you need the Falcons to give you a little help here on a short week.
I don't believe you do. If you
clinch. I guess you're saying both games.
Yeah.
No, because if the Falcons beat the Bucs this week and the Panthers beat the Saints, then they could clinch next week against the Buccaneers with the home game as well. Now, I'm not anticipating that, but look, the Saints just went in there and won. Who's to say Atlanta couldn't do the same thing?
It is. Oh, we got some Omarion Hampton news coming across for UNC fans. I'll tell you this quickly. He has been activated off of injured reserve. He had to be activated for tonight's game by 4 p.m. So they did that for the Chargers. Former UNC running back Omarion Hampton, I would assume moments before they absolutely had to. So that's a little update for Tar Heel fans there. That according to Adam Schefter. Going back to the Panthers, though. Let's hear from Dave Canales on what it was like to win the bye week. Here he is talking about how emotionally invested he was watching his division brethren, the Saints and Bucs, play.
I was watching the game, wanted to make sure that I was connected to the story of it. I got to be honest, I got a little emotionally involved in the game, at times. And, it's something I try to, remind our players is like, hey, watch these games. Let's try not to get too, emotionally connected. But how can you not? It impacts all of us in this division. And certainly it impacts us going into this week with another division opponent.
I give him a lot of credit for saying he got emotionally invested because, he's usually a coach speak guy and, you would normally get, I watched, but I was just trying to get better. And, those are two great programs and really trying hard. And we know what we're up against. And we got to focus on it. No, he's like, no, I was watching and I knew what was at stake. Tyler Shuck, hey, find a way, right? The Saints, I almost said young quarterback, inexperienced quarterback, not that young. With that win by the Saints, the stakes raise for Carolina. With that win by the Saints, there is now more on the line. You control your destiny, right? Every coach will tell you control what you can control, which is why I think most coaches get coach speaky when they talk about watching other games that impact them. Because really all you can worry about is let's win the games on our schedule and let the chips fall where they may elsewhere. You don't have to worry about the chips elsewhere now. You beat the Saints, you beat the Bucs twice, you're good. Nobody can argue with you, you're in. Now, if there's a concern, here it is. This is the situation they have struggled with this year. When they get into these games matter, oh my goodness, this is the most important game in X amount of years, that's when they've struggled. Right? They get the win against Green Bay. Well, then they lay the stinker against New Orleans. They get the 448-yard passing, this changes everything win over Atlanta. They lay the stinker against San Fran. And then they have this changes everything win against the Rams. That is the one that felt different to me. They stared down Matt Stafford, who, by the way, looked great again this week, and Puka Nacua and that whole squad, and beat them. Then hit a bye and won the bye as far as, the Saints getting the win and their standing in the division improving. Now they're going into the last 4 games with all of the heightened stakes that I just talked about. And that has not been a recipe for success for the Panthers this year. The recipe has been, when the stakes get up, they lay the stinker. So this is where, and I talk about this, being a coach is what we think of being a coach, right? The whistle, conditioning, calling plays. A lot of ways you got to be a therapist too, right? A lot of ways you got to be a psychologist too. You got to get your team in the right vibe. Whatever you did going into the Saints game, whatever you did going into the Monday Nighter against the Niners, whatever you did coming out of those other 2 big wins didn't work. Now, maybe the players can, you got to know your team. Maybe the players are like, no, we figured it out. We did something wrong. We'll go out and do better. That would be lovely, but it's on Canales. It's on the coordinators. It's on the leaders to make sure this team is ready. Canales spoke about kind of that idea on elevating every week to what he called championship moments. This is what he had to say.
It is why we talk that way. We try to heighten every opportunity, because whether you're going to have to win games on the road, you're going to have to win at home, you're going to have to win in the elements, you're going to have to win with crowd noise. There's all these elements in every game that really does present championship moments, and we're going to go down to New Orleans, and that place can be really loud, and a team that played really good football against a really good team in the Bucs just yesterday. And so it's easy for me to sell it, in these types of situations, especially knowing what's in front of us. And so, but the way we do it is we take one opponent at a time. The goal is 1-0 with a chance to win the division. It's right here in front of us.
Rising to the championship moments. It would be dramatic overly dramatic if it weren't true. I mean, if you consider a division win as a division championship, they got 3 division championship moments coming up. They have 3 opportunities to stamp the NFC South as the Carolina Panthers. Now, I mean, you don't want to put too much pressure. Maybe that's what they weren't doing well, but it's a fact.
It's kind of the flip side of, it's a good result for the standings for the Saints to go into Tampa and win, but it shows how good of football they've been playing recently, at least in terms of the Saints. Like, it's not like they've been one of the best teams in the NFL, but they've been playing a lot better recently. And Bryce Young particularly, but the Panthers as a whole as well, not really played great at the Superdome over the last 5 years, 6, 7, 8 years, basically since the beginning of the Tepper era. And basically going back to that last playoff game where it was Cam Newton going in there and they were unable to get the win. So, no matter where they are in the standings, I mean, it's shown from the first time they played the Saints. Like, you cannot overlook this game. They have to have a good week of practice. They can't have another debacle like the last game where guys were coming out after and saying, well, the focus wasn't there in practice and everyone was kind of messing around and the vibe was off in the locker room. Got to be locked in, got to be prepared and ready to go because every game, you got 4 games left here. Every one of them is crucial in potentially getting into the playoffs and maybe even having a home playoff game. It's crazy that we're talking about that on December 8th right now. But the Panthers very, very well may have a home playoff game if they can play their best football these last 4 games.
The irony of it is the Saints are actually they look okay. The Bucs have not looked that great. And if you had asked me a couple weeks ago, which I would have flipped those two. But you're right, they do have to eradicate some demons against the Saints. Maybe do they go full Kyrie? Do they bring the sage?
Yes.
The incense? Go walk around the field and eradicate those demons? Maybe. But I'm gonna set myself up here, right? I want to make sure that we can talk about this game accurately throughout the week and next week in reaction. The goal of this season for me, for the Carolina Panthers, was to have the games after the bye week matter. Right? We knew the schedule. We knew where the division favorite was. We knew, right, the 2 Bucs games were both after. We knew that they had the super late bye. We knew. And my goal, and you can go find it, right? We have the receipts and go look up in the YouTube and all those things. I wanted the games after the bye week to matter. They do. Like, I don't care if they go out there and lay the biggest egg you've ever seen. They matter, right? So whether they thrive, whether they figure out how to play in those championship moments, maybe we watch, right, it's the holiday season, right, the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day. Maybe we'll see Bryce Young's leadership and clutch grow 3 sizes that day, and then the meaningful games and all of that. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe they'll stink. Maybe they like we've seen both versions of the Panthers this year.
We certainly need to keep our expectations in check. There's a very good chance that they go and lay an egg. I'm not saying that that's the likely scenario. I'm not saying either one is a likely scenario. I really don't know. I'm hoping that they have reached the point in this kind of build for Dave Canales and everybody kind of coming into their own, and the way that they beat the Rams a couple weeks ago has given them the confidence to be able to come out and play as well as we know they can, so we don't see that performance again like we saw in the first Saints game.
But either way, the lessons learned over the next month will help you. If they go into the postseason, I like, even if they have the home playoff game, I'm still not betting on them to win the Super Bowl, right? I'll be hoping, right, because that'd be awesome. It'd be electric. But I don't think this is a true contending team. I think this is a team that could learn, could gain experience, could gain confidence, could build culture, could do all of that. Absolutely all of that. And then add a few players at positions of need over the offseason, hopefully draft well again, and go into next year better off. But as I've said a few times, the first mission of this season has already been accomplished. Make the games after the bye week matter. Because last year they went on this nice little run at the end of the year, but it was completely immaterial, right? It was completely irrelevant. They were
like 1-7 before they really started turning it on.
Exactly. You were playing for pride, which is great, but it's not the same as playing for playoffs, which is what they're going to be doing now, whether win, lose, or draw. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As promised throughout the show, it's time for a Monday Soundoff. So let's go ahead and open up the phone lines, 919-860-5326. It's the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Whatever you want to talk about, college football playoffs, the ACC Championship on the football side, college basketball, the Canes, the Panthers, whatever. It's a sound off, so you can call in and sound off on what you want to sound off on. The number to call is 919-860-5326. While those lines open up, I'll tell you about Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending, the home of the no-cost loan. When you're getting your mortgage, there's a good chance that somewhere along the way, some broker, some lender has told you, if you buy down your rate, give me X amount of thousands of dollars now, I can get you a half point better. What you may not think of is, well, what are the chances in the next 2 or 3 years rates will drop a half point? And then I can refinance using a no closing cost loan, from Miller Lending, and get that same monthly rate, so get that same monthly payment, that same half point lower, without having to give you thousands of dollars heads up, and still have most of my 30-year mortgage looking ahead of me. Ever think about it that way? Has that sparked some questions that you want answered? Good. I'm going to give you a number here to call for Miller Lending. They are owned right here in the Triangle, right? You'll be talking to somebody in Cary. The 919 area code goes to someone right here in the 919, and they'll answer all of the questions you have about what a no-cost loan is, no closing costs, and how do they do it. The number is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. As promised, Heister Automotive Group hotline is open, 919-860-5326. If you don't get through, keep calling. Lines will open up. It is a Monday Soundoff coming up next.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Philadelphia and the LA Chargers.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites, like Chicken Supremes, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for Monday Soundoff. There it is. Heister Automotive Group hotline open for your calls. College basketball, college football playoff, NFL, NHL, Canes, whatever you want to talk about, we are here for it. And we want to hear from you. So call in now. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. We have some waiting already, so we'll get right into it. And if you attempted to call in, didn't get through, keep calling. Lines will open up as the segment moves along. We have Travis in Maryland wants to sound off on what looks like some soccer and some Notre Dame talk. Travis, welcome to the show. Happy to have you. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim, this is Travis calling from Bowie. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic. Happy to hear from you. What do you got?
Yeah, so my first question is about U.S. men's soccer. What is your take on them being in that particular group, and do you think they make it out alive? And my second question is, with Notre Dame football, does it seem like Notre Dame is out here pouting like a little kid that doesn't get their way in a candy store? Thank you so much.
I appreciate the call. I in part, yes, it does make it sound like they're pouting like little kids. But I think it's bigger than that. I think they're missing the picture, right? I think they think they're doing something. They think they're making some dramatic point that's going to change everything, when in actuality, they're just playing one less football game. And you only get so many of them. I would say this to every football player at every level. Football is not one of those sports that grows old with you, right? You do not see, like my college roommate played college basketball. I played college football, right? We're still close. I was talking with him earlier today. He plays in men's league basketball. And you can play in pretty competitive men's league, and you can still use that. If you're a golfer, you can obviously golf forever. If you're a tennis player, you can play tennis forever. You can play softball. Football is one of those deals, like when you take the pads off for the last time, you don't really get many opportunities to ever put the pads back on. So Notre Dame's just choosing to have one less game by declining a bowl. And as a former player that for a long time would have done a lot of crazy stuff to get one more game. I think players, whether they admit it or not, will regret it later on in their lives. And then as far as United States men's national team, right now Max is on the phone, but he is much more up to date on the soccer than I. So I will bring Max on to answer that question in a second before we go to our next caller. He's locking in the lines there. Max, the question was, U.S. men's national team, how's their draw? Do they make it out alive? Give it a minute or less.
No, it's a good draw. I mean, I feel like they're all the groups are kind of weaker overall just because it's 48 teams this year. So I feel like most of them are pretty watered down. It's going to come down to, I don't really know how it lines up in terms of, and I think it's kind of impossible to determine this before they actually play it, but what the matchup would be in the knockouts is really where I'm concerned, because they got out of the group stage in 2022, and then they got absolutely smoked by the Netherlands. So it looked a little tougher from the beginning then. Now I look at it as I think they should get out of the group, but look, I'm kind of expecting to be disappointed. Just the way that the U.S. men's national team culture has been, I would like to see Pulisic maybe be a better leader. I think the way he was kind of taking tournaments off over this last couple cycles, and that led to some disappointing results too. I think they got shut out like 4-0 by Switzerland somewhere along the way, and that might have been a friendly, but still, like at a certain level, you don't want to be getting shut out 4-0 with your national team. So I have hopes. I don't really expect them to go super far once the knockout round begins, but I think they should get out of the group, and I'm excited to take it in. I hope we get out to a game. I probably won't be able to afford a U.S. game because I'm sure those tickets will be insane, but just to be able to get out to any World Cup game would be cool. I'm super excited to see the U.S. host it, and I'm ready for some big time soccer next summer.
Let's get back to the call-in line on a Monday. Sound off, 919-860-5326. We have Luca in Chapel Hill. Wants to sound off on UNC. Makes sense out there in Chapel Hill. Luca, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hello. I also wanted to sound off on OSU football.
On what football?
OSU.
LSU. Okay, go ahead.
OSU.
Oh, Ohio State? Is that what you're rolling with?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and sound off on whatever you want to sound off on.
Especially Jaden Fielding. He's solid the entire season until it gets to crunch time. Like Michigan last year, he missed 2. This year, obviously, a couple of days ago, just whiffed it. And terrible.
Okay.
And I'd like to know what your thoughts on the UNC basketball team, men's basketball team this year, and their shot to winning a national championship.
All right. I appreciate the call, Luca. Jaden Fielding obviously being the kicker for Ohio State is what he was getting at there. I mean, when you have that offense and you put up 10 points, I guess you could say like, oh, it should have been 13. And then obviously when you lose 13-10, but Ohio State didn't play a good game. It's hard to put it all on the kicker, although the kicker does deserve his share of the blame. As far as UNC basketball, I think a lot of it's going to come down to their perimeter. Luka Bogovac, ironically, we had a Luka calling in from Chapel Hill. Luka Bogovac from Chapel Hill. If he keeps scoring the way he's scoring, Seth Trimble comes back and plays well. Derek Dixon keeps playing well. They can hang with anybody because their big men, their front court is legit. Caleb Wilson and Henry Vesar specifically, but you mix in Jaron Stevenson, a couple others. I'm very optimistic about what UNC has, and if they keep improving at the rate they are, the sky's the limit. Corey and Raleigh is up next. Oh, sorry, no, don't want to skip any. We'll get to Corey and Raleigh. Don't worry, just stay on hold. Let's go to Dirk in Morganton. Also wants to sound off on UNC hoops. Dirk, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey Tim, thanks for having me on.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to show some love for the Heels as well. I'm really proud of the coaching staff and the organization for learning from their mistakes from last year and finding that inside presence to replace Baycott.
Mm-hmm.
And also I just love the team's mentality. I think a lot of it comes from it trickles down from Seth because Seth cares so much about them winning. He's cried at the end of the season every year that he's played because they haven't cut down the nets. And to him and to the whole team, it's all about handling business. And so, and with that inside presence, that is definitely looking like it's a top 5 front court, or maybe even the best front court in the country. My question for you about Caleb is, I know that the speculation is that he's going to be a one and done because he just looks so NBA ready. Like he looks like a young KG right now. Like that's what he reminds people of, like both in his stature and his skills. But I was just wondering if that is actually a fact. Like Caleb has been on the record saying that he just plans on playing 1 year and then going to the NBA, or if if that is actually like, if you know that he has said that, or if it's just what we're all speculating because of how good he is right now.
All right. I appreciate the call. A lot of good points made about the team. Call back in anytime. I don't know if he has said it, but with how high he is projected to get drafted, I don't know if we've seen somebody turn that down, right? The top 5 picks in the draft, the money is so ludicrous that, I don't know if we've seen somebody pass up on that. So I maybe there's hope there. I would imagine the NIL check would have to be bananas, but I don't want to speak for him. Maybe he is entertaining it. Who knows? We'll go to Corey in Raleigh, as I teased earlier. Corey in Raleigh, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim, appreciate it, boss. First off, go Heels, but I want to sound off a little bit, or even more ask you a question.
All right.
With the state of college football, before NIL and bowl games and stuff were happening, as a former player as well, I feel like I would want to have played before NIL started and we had people staying all this time. But now with the state of college football and how fast things move and, if you're really not going to the championship, like, is it more beneficial for the program to go ahead and start off? I mean, every week counts, I feel like, to go ahead and start working on the next year for the next players to get them to that ultimate goal? Or is it a disrespect for them not to at least let some of these players that really didn't get to play much or something? I fight back and forth with it, man, because I feel like, if I'm not going to the college football playoffs, I want to go ahead and get started on the next year and do what's best for the players coming back or the ones coming in and do what's best for them. I really don't have an answer to it, man. I feel like there's pros and cons to both.
All right, I appreciate the call. I'll try to build a little bit more off that. You can use the bowl practices for whatever you want, right? If you don't make a bowl, you can't be on the field doing football things and football pads with footballs with your team. There are rules against practices in the off season. So if you have a bowl game, you get to be on the field more. Now I can speak. I never played for a bowl. I played FCS football. But we had, I think it was like a month between the semifinals and the national championship one year. And I was not the starting quarterback that year. I was one of the backups. I was the backup. But that month between the semifinal and the national championship was huge for me because we practiced a ton. And there were practices, there were scrimmages where, like, the seniors, those on expiring eligibility, really took a back seat. And it was like we were practicing for the next year. It was basically that year's spring ball, even though we still had spring ball coming. So, like, if you're State or if you're, heck, Notre Dame, who turned it down, there's nothing that says you have to practice every day as if you're getting ready to win the bowl with, a vengeance unknown to mankind. You can practice with the idea of, all right, let's make sure the seniors get their reps, but let's also, for the last half hour, scrimmage with guys coming back next year. Like, you can do that to get ready for next season. I don't think it has to be mutually exclusive where either you're taking the bowl and continuing this year or you're focusing on next year. I think you can take the bowl and do a lot of good for next year. David in Willow Springs up next wants to sound off on the Carolina Panthers. David, welcome to the show. Happy to have you. Go ahead and take the floor.
Hey, Jim. I wanted to sound off a little bit on the Panthers. First off, Bryce Young's a good quarterback, but unless the Panthers start utilizing him in a dual threat capacity as opposed to being a straight drop back passer, he's not the quarterback for the Panthers. And the other thing I wanted to mention is if the Panthers do not extend the contract of Rico Dowdle, I'm going to become a Washington fan again.
Well, let me ask you this. How much money would you be willing to pay Rico Dowdle? Because he's a free agent this offseason, and everybody's going to be able to offer him money.
Yeah, and it needs to be within reason, but if you got to free up some space somewhere, I would not want to. I don't know.
Okay. I appreciate
Chuba Hubbard's a good back, but I think Rico Dowdle is the one they need.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling in. The reason why I kind of, hit that follow-up there is part of the lesson you can learn about Rico Dowdle might be don't pay running backs. You paid Chuba Hubbard, and then you found on the scrap heap Rico Dowdle, and he's, as the caller just said, he's looked better for most of the season, maybe this last game notwithstanding. So maybe the lesson is don't pay the running back, and you can always find one, right? Look around the league.
Can I say something about Rico Dowdle?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if he's as good as we're giving him credit for. He had 2 insane games against 2 pretty bad run defenses, and he's had 1 game over 100 rushing yards since. I think over 100 scrimmage yards. Or he's had a couple where he's been right around it. But, we saw that crazy explosive production for 2 games, but since then, haven't really been able to replicate it. So I don't know if that was indicative of long-term success or maybe it was a flash in the pan. So that kind of makes me think maybe hold off a little bit on talking about that contract extension for him, especially if he's going to be commanding a big number on the open market.
It all comes down to how much it costs. He's still averaging almost 5 yards a carry, which is legit of every path, and he's a good pass catcher. I don't think you write him a blank check. And also, I don't think Bryce has to be a dual threat. That wasn't his game at Alabama, so I don't know why. He's a smaller guy. You don't want to expose him to hits. But, yes, he has to be able to pick up first downs and stuff if you give it to him. Isaiah in Wake Forest up next. He's our Automotive Group hotline on a Monday. Soundoff wants to sound off on both the Canes and the Panthers. Let's see where Isaiah goes with this one. Isaiah, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. On the Panthers, I'm going to switch up what I was going to say based on the previous caller. With dual threat, I actually agree with that because he's such a small quarterback. And he's not really like an amazing passer. So I feel like, and he showed that he can run the ball. So I feel as if when he's a dual threat, he's a lot more dangerous. And you could clearly see that when Andy Dalton played against the Bills, they had no respect for him as a runner, and they destroyed him. And then with Rico Dowdle, I think you can tell if you watch the games closely, you can see that Rico just has that explosiveness, that little pop when he gets around through the creases in between the tackles that Chuba Hubbard just doesn't have. And he's a phenomenal pass catcher. And then on the Canes, really briefly, they have some major problems right now. The goalkeeping, I don't know if Cooch was rusty, but and then the offense. They're so inconsistent. On Thursday, Freddie played poorly, and the offense gave him no help. Saturday, Bussy played okay. He played good, but not great. And the offense, they decided to help him out today. And then yesterday, Cooch didn't play great, and the offense decided to fall asleep again. And that's really all I have to say. My final question is, would you say Derek Dixon is taking over the starting point guard spot for Kyan Evans? Thanks.
All right. Well, left field UNC basketball question there at the end. We'll talk about the Canes a bunch more later in the show. So just in the interest of time, we'll tease that and kind of move on. The Panthers, as far as, again, I think you can be really effective with Bryce Young being asked to run more. I just think you then better have a really good backup quarterback because small guys get hurt. Ask Jaden Daniels, right? He's a skinny guy. He's not making it through many games recently. As far as Derek Dixon, I'm giving him more responsibility, right? And I don't even know if it's he might be taking the floor general role from Kyan Evans. I think there could be a role for Kyan Evans as a off-ball catch and shoot guy. Which is what, when he committed out of the portal, that's what everybody told me about him. He's this lights-out shooter. He's an unbelievable shooter. He's a lights-out shooter. Well, if you're that good at shooting, I don't know if I want you setting everybody else up, right? I want you doing the thing that you're known for. So, Derek Dixon, here's the way I look at freshmen that aren't Caleb Williams, freshmen that aren't, Cam Boozer, right? If you're not just, top 5 recruit in the country, give them a little bit of responsibility. If they do well with it, give them more. If they do well with it, give them more. Every bit they've given Derek Dixon so far, he's been pretty good at. So give him more. See where it goes. Rick in Rocky Mount is up next here on a Monday Soundoff. Wants to sound off on the college football bowls. Rick, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, thanks for taking my call today, Tim. I'm real happy that finally a 5-7 team said yes in Appalachian State, and I hope they go down and win their bowl game. It's a shame that we had to use the 5-7s with all the schools dropping out, but I want to give a shout out to the 5-7 teams that said yes, and shame on those who passed up on an opportunity to go get an extra game in.
I appreciate it, and I agree with you in a lot of ways. I don't know how you can love football because I don't think, unless you're just a genetic freak, and I know that they exist, right? You're big, you're tall, you're strong, you're fast. You were identified when you were 8 years old and you were the best player in your Pop Warner, so you played middle school and you're best. I understand there's a lot of guys that maybe not a lot. There's a few, but for the majority of a college football roster, you have to love the sport to be good enough to play. And I just can't imagine being cool to be like, yeah, no, we don't want to play anymore. We'll take it off from here. If I was a backup, I'd be voting to play. Even if I knew I wasn't going to play, I could be 4th string and the first 3 guys are all going to play. I'm like, I want to play football. Micah in Morrisville wants to sound off on the U.S. men's national team. I didn't realize we had so many soccer fans. Maybe Adam Gold is breeding y'all. Micah in Morrisville, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Yeah, about the U.S. men, super excited. A little context on this. So Christian Pulisic, Max Messenger earlier, he's the best player on the U.S. team by far. I would go to say he's the best U.S. men's player ever in the generation. So if you go back in time, Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey, he's better than them. He just came off the bench. He plays for AC Milan, which is the biggest club in Italy. He just came off the bench. They were down 2-1. He scored 2 goals in 10 minutes. Now they're up 3-2. He's the best. Yeah, he's the best American we'll ever see. But our group, we should 100% get first place. No ifs, ands, or buts. In the round of 32, we'd play a third-place team. We'll advance through that. The round of 16, we'd play Belgium, which is who we lost to in 2014. Their golden generation is done, so we'll beat them. And then I think we'll go out in the round of 8 against Spain. Well, we definitely will not beat Spain. So round of 8 is where we're going to make it to. If you're not a soccer fan, you got to tune in because there's some huge talent on this team, and they can take it. They're gonna make a run that we've never seen before. And then lastly, on the Canes, there's not. Freddie is kind of questionable. When Jacob Slavin comes back, everything will be saved. But the thing that no one's talking about, or I feel like not enough people are talking about, is Aho. Something's wrong with Aho. I don't know what he's just not. He's not really a threat. He's not the star that we need him to be. He's just somehow falling over on great, amazing scoring opportunities. He's just falling over. He's missing shots. I don't know. And Jordan Stahl's been our best center this whole year, I think. And I mean, he's playing well, but he should not be the best center. We won't win the cup if Stahl is our 1 seed.
All right.
And that's all I got.
Thank you very much, Micah, as always. I was surprised that they did some shuffling of lines towards the end of yesterday's game. I was surprised to see Stahl up there, but I almost think Stahl, obviously he's the captain, he's a leader. I think sometimes Brendan Moore uses him as like if you're not going to do it, I'll put Stalzy up there. I'll put Jordo up there. And he just knows there's a certain baseline of what Stahl's going to bring. Aho is still at, essentially the exact same points per game he was last year. I just think you want to step up. You want to level up.
I think he's looked good kind of in puck possession, but I do agree he hasn't really been like as much of a nose for the net.
Yep.
I suppose I think he's typically more of a green light shooter, and he hasn't exactly had that. This
I
year.
hope everybody knows by now. I want angry Aho. Somebody has to insult him before the game, just to get him angry, right? I always equate him to the goggles guy in dodgeball, right? Get angry out there. Somebody's got to get him, because he occasionally is, right? Overtimes and things, you see him get much more aggressive. Tom in Creedmoor wants to sound off on NC State football. We'll see what Tom has to say. Tom, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy to hear from you.
First of all, congratulations on State going to 7-5 and going to the bowl this year again. Tell us about our recruiting that we got coming in next year. Do we have any players that could probably come in and help out immediately? And then I want to ask you something else.
As far as playing immediately, they brought in 27 recruits on signing day. They were all 3 stars. So none are the obvious going to show up and play. But also, we don't even know what the roster is going to look like next year. Transfer portal hasn't happened yet. You don't know. So it's really tough to make those kind of predictions. But there's no high 4-star, 5-star guy who you're like banking the farm on.
Okay, and I know we play Virginia and Brazil. Is that who we open up with, or do we have a game before that?
State opens with Virginia in Brazil is how they open their season next year.
Will that be a conference game or non-conference?
That will be a conference game. It will be the 9th conference game. Not every team in the ACC is playing 9 next year because they're kind of moving to it, but it will count in their conference schedule.
So who we play for non-conference, or do you have the schedule?
I don't have it up in front of me, but if you tweet at me or something, I'll send it to you. Appreciate the call, but we do have to move on. We'll go quickly here. We have a couple more that I want to get to, so we'll go to Jonathan in Fuquay-Varina. Wants to sound off on Duke football, ACC champion Duke football. Jonathan, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off. Jonathan, are you there? Going once.
Yeah, sorry about that.
There you go. Gotcha.
Thanks, Tim. First time calling in, but I had to call in about my Duke Blue Devils football. I've been a fan that's lived through over a decade of just miserable football back when they would be lucky to win 2 or 3 games in a season, and saw a lot of comments online about Duke didn't deserve to be there, that they were lucky, they made fun of the ACC champion having 5 losses or whatever. But as someone who lived through all that suffering, I'm celebrating every minute of it. I don't care how they got there. I don't care what tiebreakers it took. They got there and they took care of business, and I'm celebrating it. And I don't necessarily agree that JMU should have been ranked over them, but it is what it is. I'm just happy we're ACC championship, and hope that Mensa comes back and we maybe can make some more waves next year. That's all I got. Thanks, Tim.
I'm with it. I would. The only thing I would add there is Shepard also comes back because he's a really good running back, and if he wants to test the portal, he'll have options. But that's I think an appropriate fan reaction. Like, I wish that you put Duke over JMU, but it is what it is. Like, you can't really be that upset with 5 losses that you didn't end up in the CFP, but you could hope for more, right? You're a fan. You don't have to be logical. You can be fanatical. But yeah, 5 losses. UConn loss, Tulane loss. It's hard to justify. Last caller here, Lewis in Raleigh wants to sound off on Notre Dame. Lewis, welcome to the show. End it with a bang. The floor is yours.
Okay, I want to talk about them stupid Fighting Irish.
Okay, let's hear
it. About Miami, about the ACC helping Miami try to get into the playoff. It was stupid for the ACC to allow the Irish into the ACC in the first place. The Irish keep the best that they have, the best asset they have for themselves, while getting the best that the ACC has. They're nothing but a gold digger athletic program, and then they got the audacity when the ACC has asked them to, quote-unquote, marry them so they can be a kept woman. Instead, they want to go out there and now stay on their own, not get hooked up with the ACC, and then got the nerve to tell the ACC how they're taking care of their kids. I can't believe they had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to come at the ACC and be upset about what the ACC did for their own. If the ACC commissioner had any kind of cojones whatsoever, he would call the AD right now and just his best Darth Vader voice say, "Are you feeling that you've been treated unfairly?"
You know what? Really, really good job. A little bit of a Stephen A. vibe there with the unmitigated goal. But we appreciate it, Lewis. Listen, I don't know what they wanted the ACC to do. Miami is a football member of the ACC. Notre Dame is not. And the only way the ACC was going to get Miami in was to trumpet the win that Miami had over Notre Dame. They really didn't have any choices. And now Notre Dame's acting like they were stabbed in the back. It's if you wanted the full weight of the ACC football promotion behind you, you had to join the ACC football. I don't get a lot of what Notre Dame's doing over the last 48 hours. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I promised you earlier, and we are going to get to it when we return. 10 Days of CanesMas. Presented by Hardee's. Cozy up to the goodness of Hardee's new grilled cheese, bacon burger, and breakfast sandwich. And 10 Days of CanesMas also presented by Surfside Vodka. Whether you're watching excuse me, I'm so excited. Whether you're watching hockey or warming up by the fire, there's nothing better than enjoying your favorite Surfside canned cocktail to keep the good times going. I think we need caller number 10. Is that what we're rolling with? Caller number 10 right now at 919-860-5326 will have the chance to answer a very simple question, and then I will reach into the magical red hat that I have here and select a prize for you as part of our 10 Days of CanesMas. So call in now, 919-860-5326. Caller number 10 joins us and gets a sweet gift. Stick around.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for Loan Pronto. The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 in cash out of your home equity in the process? With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. Don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills by thousands. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Aaron Rodgers is the latest face in what has been a continuous problem for the Steelers. And I don't blame their fans for being upset. And I mean this with all due respect because you can never take away the resume from Aaron Rodgers. But Steelers fans are probably sick of a consignment quarterback. They're sick of them just shopping around in the offseason, and they don't have the quarterback of the present and of the future.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
You know how to tell that you've picked a great gift? When you love to get it yourself. Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here with a great idea. Give Buffalo Brothers gift cards. Whenever I'm back in the Triangle, I make a beeline for Buffalo Brothers to get my wing fix, and it's my go-to spot for gifts and stocking stuffers. Now through December 24th, buy a $40 gift card for someone special and get a $10 gift card for you. Now that's a deal, baby! Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and buffbrothers.com. Aw, man! Now I want wings!
Hey guys, this is Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and we know that you want to get your wife or girlfriend something special this Christmas, but sometimes you just don't know what to get. You wonder, what will she like? What will make her feel special? What will make her say, wow? At Bailey's Fine Jewelry, we have experts that are here to help. We specialize in making you look like a hero. You can even send her in to make a wish list that we keep on file to help make your life just a little bit easier. Bailey's has the largest selection of jewelry in North Carolina, including designers like David Yurman, Lagos, Marco Biccigo, and Apolita, as well as beautifully curated Bailey's collections. And don't fret, because if for some reason she doesn't love your gift, we have a 30-day return policy. Our goal is to be your go-to jeweler for life. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, located in Raleigh's Village District, Cary's Fenton, also in Rocky Mount, Greenville, and Charlotte. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowes.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There you go. Get in the mood, shall we? Because it is the 10 days of CanesMas, presented by Hardee's. Get the Hardee's app and join my rewards right now and get hand-breaded chicken tender BOGO every Tuesday through June 2026. It's also presented by Surfside Vodka. Whether you're watching hockey or warming up by the fire, there's nothing better than enjoying your favorite Surfside canned cocktail to keep the good times rolling. Now, John in Wake Forest was caller number 10. John, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the prizes we have, this is a smattering of, not a fully inclusive list. There are Canes grill sets. There's a Canes penny hockey game. There's a Canes speaker. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff. There's coolers. There's a tire. There's a bunch of really cool stuff. You will, assuming you can get this answer right, you will receive, I will, like one of the prizes, I will reach into this magic hat here that I have, and you can watch on YouTube to keep me honest, everybody. But you do have to get a question right. Are you ready to answer?
Yes, sir.
Can you please name a current Carolina Hurricanes player?
Jordan Stahl.
There you go. That absolutely counts. Jordan Stahl. We just want to make sure to keep you on your toes. We're not trying to trick you or anything, but but you got it right, which has earned you a chance to win something out of the magic red hat here. I will mix it up. Again, everybody can watch it on YouTube if you want to keep me honest. And your prize, the first 10 days of CanesMas winning prize is a Canes duffel bag. Congratulations.
Nice. Thank you.
Canes duffel bag. Now, congratulations. Happy CanesMas to you. But make sure you stay on the line so Max can grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize. But a Canes duffel bag is coming your way.
That sounds great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. John in Wake Forest. I knew it was like I was going to list everything except for one prize, and the first prize was going to be one that I didn't list. But it's a nice Canes duffel. It's pretty sweet. I would want one. I would want most of the prizes, but I would definitely want that one. Let's stay on the Canes here for a second. CanesMas day one complete. We will do it again tomorrow, and we're going to try to hit them all in the 4 o'clock hour. Maybe move up or down, 10 minutes. But if you want to schedule your day around it, CanesMas will take place in the 4 o'clock hour. And thank you to Hardee's and Surfside Vodka for presenting. The Canes are in a really interesting spot, and you can tell by the callers that we had calling in about the Carolina Hurricanes. There's just a hint of trepidation. I am continuing to preach patience, right? Trust me, I've seen them, and I've been tempted to bring up the stats on Logan Stankoven's point production over the last however many games. I've been tempted to bring up, so many of the stats that make you go, maybe it's time for a change. Maybe there's some lineup shuffling. But I truly believe maybe some tinkering, but whole-scale changes aren't necessary unless you're going to make a ridiculously big swing in the trade market. I think you kind of have to dance with who brought you. And what I mean by that is you have to trust your culture, right? We'll play some audio here of Jordan Stahl, ironically, who the caller just used as their answer. Kind of, I would say, not coaching through the media, but captaining through the media, talking about how the Canes maybe were expecting an easy game against San Jose and didn't get one. Here's Jordan Stahl, the captain, on that exact thought. Max, you got me real quick? All right, he's on the phone dealing with our CanesMas. Now I'm getting the thumbs up. Go ahead, Jordan.
And kind of a little more 50-50 hockey and kind of just hoping for an easy game and not really willing to grind it out and give them nothing and play our style. It's we had a good thing rolling for a bit and then we don't, and then we do, and then we don't, and it's kind of starting to get a little frustrating. Tonight was a game that we should have been ready for and should have been ready for a hard game, and we were not.
That's not cool, right? Game that we should have been ready for and we weren't, and it's getting frustrating and all. That's not cool. But also, I don't think you light everything on fire and start over, right? I don't think you make whole scale changes. I think what you do is you trust guys like Jordan, you trust guys like Aho, you trust guys like Slavin when he returns, you trust the vets, you trust Martinook to sense that and to use the coaching cliche, be thermostats. Right there's the thermometers and thermostats analogy. I think I've used it before, where everybody can be a thermometer, right? You can walk in and go, ooh, I don't like the vibe of this team. But it takes somebody special to be a thermostat, to walk in and go, ooh, I don't like the temperature of this team. Let me turn it up or let me turn it down. You got to trust your leaders. You got to trust your leaders. Because if they aren't capable of getting a team locked in mentally way more often than not, particularly in big games, particularly in big moments, then you got bigger problems. That's not like a quick fix. That's a gigantic issue. Rod Brindamore was asked what has to change when they're not sharp. This is what the coach said.
Well, it's not changes. It's you have to. But this is National Hockey League. You got to be prepared every night, and whether there's 4 games a week or how this stretches it, everybody's got to go through it. And I just felt like we were not sharp, and when the other team is sharp, you're going to get behind, and now you're just chasing it. It's hard to come back.
You're not sharp. How do you get sharp? That's the part, right? How do you fight back? That's the part. And I said this earlier. I don't think they're lacking spark plays. I think they're lacking. Ready for this? This is I named my theory the second O. Did you? You're too young, Max. Do you remember the And One mixtape tour at all?
I mean, I've seen like the clips and stuff
Okay.
before. I don't remember when it was actively going on, but
03, 02 maybe is when it was at its peak. But And One mixtape tour was street ball, right? And the thing that I always, kind of not judged them on, but the thing that made it go super electric was what I called the second O, right? If you made a guy fall dribbling the basketball, right? You put it between his legs, you bounce it off his head, whatever it was. You go, oh. And then if you hit the jumper while everyone's going, oh, it got bigger, right? Or if you had a ridiculous pass off the backboard and you catch it, oh. And then you complete the dunk on somebody's head. That second big wave of cheering. That's what the Canes have missed, right? Because they've started slow. It happens. And you might say the Canes are notorious slow starters, but they've started slow. They've gotten the move. They've made them fall, right? They've done the first thing to get the crowd in. What they haven't done is hit over the top, right? They haven't, when Jarvis scored off the pass from Gostisbehere against Toronto, nobody dunked it, right? You score another goal shortly after that. You get a big hit shortly after that. And then you're rolling, right? Yesterday, Jordan Stahl scored a tying goal on the power play. What is it, 2021 or something? Last time he scored a power play goal. He's out there, old man, trying to get it done. When he scores, that should and then they just never had another one. They're having the spark play. They're just not taking advantage of it. That's what I'm a little bit worried about. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, almost 5 o'clock, which means it's almost time for the starting five. You don't want to miss it. Stick around. It's coming up next.
Hey, folks, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've lost 42 pounds in 4 months thanks to the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And you're probably thinking, yeah, I've heard you say that number before, Dennis. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is not only have I lost that weight, but I've maintained that weight loss. That's actually the most important thing. It's not just losing weight, but keeping it off. The program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center is all geared towards resetting your metabolism. No shots or injections, no steroids, no surgeries, none of the funky side effects. It's all about resetting your metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing, which is burn off fat, burn off weight. And that's exactly what the program has done for me. Again, 42 pounds in 4 months. And you need to give them a call at 919-897-7506 and set up a free 15-minute phone call. You can also visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Mention the promo code LOSE IT when you sign up with the program, and you'll save 20%. That deal runs all the way through December 19th. 20% off. Use the promo code LOSE IT. Results may vary.
Move your sports day forward.
You know the story of A Christmas Carol, the ghosts of past, present, and yet to come. We can tie it a bit to the Panthers season, the past, innocence by fans, big expectations, new faces, the present, a roller coaster ride of Bryce is our guy, or maybe not. Only the yet to come could be different than the Christmas tale. Unlike Scrooge, we actually care about December games.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Your risk needs to be adjusted when you're near or in retirement. Here's Coach Pete with more. Coach Pete is president and founder of Capital Financial.
It's about putting together what you have in a perfect plan that doesn't involve taking all risk with all your money. That's all it is. And then figuring out using an investment rule of 100, which basically you take your age and you put I'm giving you the cheat sheet on this. Instead of doing the math, you just take your age, put a percentage after that. And so I'm 59. What is mine? 59% of my money should be in a place I can't lose. Even older people can take risk if it's the right risk. When you're young, you can take risk, but if you take the wrong risk, you end up with less money. So what good was it to take risk? The old saying was the more risk you take, the more return you could get. That's false. You don't have to take a lot of risk to get a good return. Matter of fact, your retirement can be safer if you don't take a lot of risk once you've already built money up. So we can talk about that.
And talk about it with you personally. Just call 888-456-7577, 888-456-7577, or text ZONE to 600-700.
Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Are you feeling the spirit of the holiday, sir?
We love the holidays, Adam, and we are feeling the spirit. It's been a great year. Just want to thank everybody out there, our listeners, our homeowners, our employees, everyone involved that makes the Aluminum Company great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Or do you get the sense that people ask for like green or red siding during this time of the year?
We have not gotten a request for green or red siding, but that is something we can always try and accommodate. We're here to help our homeowners with any concern they want to do.
You can do green or red metal roofing.
We can. Yes, we can.
Do they ever stripe it like green and then red and then green and then red?
We have not had that request yet, Adam, but we're here to accommodate any homeowner request.
Sometimes you just really feel the spirit of the holiday.
And we can accommodate.
Happy holidays to you. Thank you very much for all you do for us, for sponsoring my hockey podcast.
Happy holidays.
Appreciate that. AluminumCompany.com.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Our weather alert day continues. Some light snow possible for the rest of the day today, just minor accumulations. Temperatures will stay in the 30s. Overnight tonight, black ice is possible. Temperatures will plummet. We'll get down into the lower 20s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money at the closing bell. Dow Jones down 215 points to 47,739.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to everybody that tried to call in for CanesMas. We'll do it again tomorrow. More prizes, more gifts to give away. I always feel very jolly when I get to play CanesMas Gift Giver. Right now, we get to be jolly and talk starting five. Let's jump into it, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Buff. Stolen away. 2-on-1. Trey Holloman flies to the rim for 2.
NC State over the weekend beat UNC Asheville, which, you should take care of business against UNC Asheville, right? ACC school against mid-major school, you should win, and they did. Will Wade, before the game, head coach of NC State, laid down a gauntlet. He was speaking with Matt Chazanow, the voice of the Wolfpack. At 5:45, we are going to play a whole bunch of audio for you that you're going to want to hear. Shout out to Matt Chazanow for asking the question that got an all-time response from Will Wade.
The question just facilitated. Will Wade went on for like 5.5 minutes, and he was just getting more and more mad. You could hear it in his voice. He started like pretty calm and collected, and it's just everyone's been there too. Like you get so worked over something, you're like, and then you start getting a little louder, and then you start talking a little faster, and you start getting a little more worked up, and you can just hear it like it's starting to boil over a little bit for him. So,
but me, never. No, it absolutely happens. We push brakes and everything when I get upset. And Will Wade would have been like, "We have a commercial now." No, I got more to say. At one point, he said they've begun a hostile takeover.
We got guys who don't want to go to the glass. We got guys who don't cut hard. We're not very aggressive with our switches. And like I said, I've tried to give our guys some patience to work all this out. But the last couple of days, this has been what you would call a hostile takeover because I know how to do it, and we've done it everywhere we've been, and we're going to do it here.
The gauntlet has been laid down. I'm very, very, because that was said right before the game against UNC Asheville. I'm very curious to see how the demeanor of this team changes moving forward. It sounds like Will Wade wants like anger, wants game face. A lot of guys on NC State seem like they're more like I play with a smirk, I play with a little smile. And I don't know if that's an immovable object against an unstoppable force. I want to see who wins out in the end. And I think them kind of getting on the same page of what kind of team they want to be is important. They're still talented, but they have not been as good as I think many believed they would be or should be. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Rebound chased down by Wilson. Doesn't have the numbers. The freshman going to go anyway. And holy smokes, he just sunk their battleship with that one.
UNC basketball beat Georgetown 81-61. Few shout-outs necessary. One, they wore the throwback unis. They also had the throwback graphics on the scoreboard to look like kind of the 1982 national championship game.
I love when arenas buy in fully for the throwback graphics where it looks like the old like Daktronics scoreboard, and they only play like 70s and 80s music. Like they do that for Whalers Night at Lenovo Center. I love that as well. But you love when a sports entity does full buy-in for the throwback night.
I agree. And it was really cool. And then UNC backed it up by winning by 20. The other shout-out is necessary is the big men. Henry Vasar and Caleb Wilson. I'll just give you the numbers, right? Sometimes you got to tell the story with narrative. And no, sometimes you just got to – I got some stats for you blank. Vasar went 18 points, 15 rebounds on 6 of 11 shooting, so above 50%. Caleb Wilson went for 20 points and 14 rebounds on 7 of 12 shooting, which means your two big guys, your most productive bigs, went for 38 points, 29 rebounds, and shot 13 of 23. 38 points on 23 shots is great ball. I know you're getting to the free throw line and things. That is just great basketball. And if you play like that, right? If you play with that kind of production from the post, and not even like, it's not even traditional post, although Vasar can do some of that. If you play with that kind of production from your big guys, it gives your perimeter players a jolt, right? We've talked about Derek Dixon playing well, and shout out to Derek Dixon, right? He's a player that at the beginning of the year did not have the biggest role, and he's been given some opportunities due to injury and maybe some other players underwhelming, and he's taken pretty good advantage of it. But he came off the bench and scored 14 points on 5 of 7 shooting, by the way, which is efficient, but also he looked the part. And I don't know, I definitely consider myself more of a expert on football. It's what I played. Basketball, I watch a ton of. And I would imagine if you're an opposing coach and you see an inexperienced true freshman point guard, I'm going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at him, right? I'm going to blitz him. I'm going to jump him off pick and rolls. I'm going to try to trap him. I'm going to try to do everything I can to confuse him. But you can't really do that when Caleb Wilson and Vasar and Bogovat on the wing are playing as well as they played, right? Those are the guys that are drawing all the attention, which gives, a freshman point guard off the bench a lot of room to operate. And if he can continue to develop, maybe he's somebody who, carves out a role that sticks around even after somebody like Seth Trimble comes back, who's still dealing with the injury that he's been dealing with for a while now. And I don't think they have a timeline on his return, but when he comes back, Derek Dixon can go. Caleb Wilson, by the way. And this is just an observation, a bone to pick with On 3. On 3 covers college sports, a lot of NIL, a lot of transfer portal stuff. They put out their National Player of the Year power rankings. Caleb Wilson was number 2. One above Cam Boozer of Duke, which UNC fans will like. But then, a couple hours later, they put out their freshman impact ranking, and they had Boozer number 2 and Wilson number 3. So it didn't seem like that made a lot of sense. But with how much Boozer is producing, Caleb Wilson is right there statistically, not eclipsing, but right there and playing really gosh darn good basketball. Caleb Wilson, and I'll build off what a caller said earlier. Caller called in during Monday Soundoff, big UNC fan, and said that they loved the kind of attitude of this year's UNC team and credit a lot of it to Seth Trimble, a guy that's been around, cares about UNC a lot, right? Has been emotional after their seasons have ended the last few years. And maybe that's true. I don't want to take anything away from Seth Trimble. When I watch UNC, it looks like they are morphing into the image of Caleb Wilson. Right? The very first game that I watched of them, he's flexing at midcourt, he's pumping up the crowd, he's going nuts, and that has been more of the vibe I've caught from UNC, which is wildly impressive for a true freshman to show up at a school like UNC and immediately be kind of the driver of attitude. He might be one of those special ones. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Cameron Boozer's got it again. Chinyalu defending. Drives him into the paint. Bully ball off the window and in! Cameron Boozer taking over. He's got 29. The lead back to 3.
That's a Cameron Boozer highlight. Not a Cameron Boozer highlight from their win over Michigan State over the weekend. I know that because he didn't score that many points. I know that because he had 18 and 15. But a wild majority of them in the second half.
His scoring average actually went down after that.
18 and 15 with 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block. That's good ball in a 6-point win over the number 7 team in the country. Duke number 4. Going into the game, Michigan State number 7. 66-60 the win. Duke now 10-0. Their last 2 games for Duke have been wins over top 15 teams in the country. One at home, one on the road. True road game. That one was in East Lansing. That's not a neutral court. And they were both one-possession games late in the second half. That is worth its weight in gold for Duke. right? And it's, by the way, like no one feels bad for Duke. No one feels bad for any of these teams that just bring in 5-star freshmen and highly ranked transfers or whatever. But when you have a new team, you don't know how it's all going to go in these close games. It's why I believe it is so important to schedule aggressively in non-conference. So you put yourself in these situations as many times as you can. Duke's been passing with flying colors, right? And then, 10-0 and number 3 in the country now and all that. Like that matters. But what I like best is they seem to understand who they are in the biggest moments, right? They seem to know their roles. They seem to, I kind of go back to the Florida game, right? It was the big 3 by Isaiah Evans, which Isaiah Evans, what's your role, right? He is a unconscious shooter, right? When he gets going, he's as good as there is. Cameron Boozer, stat sheet stuffer, right? All over the place. Malik Brown, what's your role? Dirty work, defense. Well, what did he do? He got a tip while guarding the inbounder on what could have been a cross-court heave, game-winning style Hail Mary play. Like they understand who they are. And we talked about it earlier. They're much more calm in close games than last year's Duke team. I don't think they can jump as high, right? I don't think they're maybe not as great NBA prospects as the 5 guys that are all on NBA rosters right now from last year's Duke team. But they might be better in the moment in the last, in winning time in college, especially at this point in their development.
Yeah, I think the big thing that has kind of boosted them up is I think they're just a little bit better on the defensive side. The way Patrick Gongba has been playing.
That's tough because last year they were very, very good.
Yes, but yeah, you got him, you got Boozer, and you've still got Malik Brown back there creating that interior presence. They don't have like an army of shooters that are gonna kill you with the 3 ball or anything this year, but I think their defensive floor is so high and they're playing together very well. And I don't even think we've seen just how good some of these freshmen can be. Like I think Dame Sarr can do more. I think Kamenya can do more. And despite the fact that those guys haven't fully blossomed, they're still 8 or 9-0. 10-0. Have beaten a bunch of great teams already. Like they're number 2 in basically every metric you can imagine. Like only Michigan is ahead of them in all these metrics and net ranking and KenPom and all of that. So this is a very, very good Duke team. I don't know when they're eventually going to lose a game. I know they have another tough one in a week or 2. They have to play Texas Tech. I believe that's at Madison Square Garden.
I believe so. They have Lipscomb in between.
Yes, it's some kind of neutral site. No disrespect to Lipscomb, but I don't anticipate that they'll go into Cameron and win. But Duke has done well, and it's tested too over a really strong non-conference slate so far. So I mean, they'll have all the momentum in the world heading into ACC play. I'm sure they'll drop one at some point. They've got but they play Louisville at home.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the 2 Carolina games.
They only play State once. They only play.
Lenovo Center / PNC / RBC has been a bit of a house of horrors for Duke. Going on the road for basketball, they have lost a handful there over the last 10-15 years, but it's a very, very good team. And I think especially the way that they play on the interior in that matchup in particular with State, like they kind of have that kind of big man, grown man ball that the lack of size for State may not be able to handle.
Cam Boozer is a big dude. And I know that already it's online. People are complaining about the elbows and how he's just moving people out of the way. Maybe refs will make it a point of emphasis at some point, but if they're not calling it, he's just going to keep, drop step pivot. Oh, look at that. The rim's right here.
I see NBA draft people talking about, athleticism problems and stuff and, mocking him all the way down to, 5 or 6. I'm like, I'll take him at – look, if the Hornets don't get one of those top picks, I'll take him at 5 or 6. I mean, there's a lot of good prospects, but the idea of adding him is very enticing.
It all depends what you're looking for. I think he's ready to be a productive member of a team right now. Who knows if he has, dunk contests in his future. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2 of us. Now can you get a stop? Morris tossed to the right. They want to throw back. It's Taylor. Wants to take a shot. Fires downfield. It's intercepted. Luke Burkett with the pick. And the Blue Devils, for the first time in 36 years, are champions of the ACC! Battered and bruised, they found a way! And it is a wild scene here in Charlotte!
Duke won the ACC football championship over the weekend. Sent the CFP into chaos, eliminated University of Virginia for all intents and purposes. But listen, I want this to be clear. You can hate the structure of the ACC championship. You could be furious by the tiebreakers that put Duke in. You could be mad that Miami didn't get to play Virginia. You can be up in arms about Notre Dame. You could be so mad. Duke doesn't make the rules. They just played the game, and they won the game, and they get the ACC championship. And you can't take that away. And they earned the heck out of that. That was a weird game, but to have the lead almost the entire game, give up a tie late, and then darn near immediately in overtime, right? Go down, score your touchdown, first play, get the interception from Luke Murgatt. Shout out to my high school, Stephen Decatur. He is a fellow former Seahawk. That's good mental toughness, man. And you know, it's one of those like hate the game, not the player situations. Yeah, maybe the ACC needs to change up their tiebreakers. But the way it was structured for this season, Duke did the just enough to get to the ACC championship, and then they won it once they got there. And I'm sure that they were bummed, right? We had Manny Diaz on this show last week talking about, you know, if you win the ACC championship, or do you think that'll be enough to be the CFP? And he assumed and said he believed that if you win the ACC, you will be in the CFP. Turns out it wasn't enough. But maybe this is something that sparks next year for Duke, right? Nate Shepard, their running back, is a dude. Darian Mensah is statistically maybe the most impressive quarterback in the ACC.
I think he's going to be playing on Sundays eventually. I think he's going to be one of the well-touted quarterback prospects coming out of next year.
There's a phenomena in college football, which is if you're bad, everybody leaves. If you're recklessly good, everybody leaves. Maybe winning an ACC championship and not going to the CFP is the perfect amount of success and unfulfilled business that everybody wants to come back and everybody wants to see it through, and other people want to jump in and see if they can help out in the portal, right? Because remember, Cooper Barkate, portal. Obviously, Darian Mensah, portal. They had to throw some major main characters into their season from the portal. If they do that again, you know, and you find a way to not lose to Tulane and UConn, next year it might be a completely different situation. But, you know, you got a bowl game, so go take care of business there first. What number was that, 4? That was 2? Ah, you're right. It was the 4th. Nah, I hate that we count in reverse. As number 2, let's get to number 1.
The one!
Carolina Hurricanes beat Nashville 6-3 on Saturday, then lost to San Jose 4-1 on Sunday. Max, I haven't brought you into the Canes conversation enough. Why were the Canes so flat against San Jose? Answer me the $1 million question.
Could have been second leg of a back-to-back. I mean, usually they play well. It's kind of a weird phenomenon where actually on the second half of back-to-backs under Rod Brindamore, I think they've actually played like really well. And that's just a testament to they just kind of play really well a majority of the time. But I don't know. It's kind of been an issue lately. I mean, it's the third time in 4 games where they've only been able to muster up 1 goal. It's kind of ineffable. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just kind of one of those things, I think, where when you go behind early like they did, where, again, and I think I saw the stat today, it's the 6th time this season that the Hurricanes have been scored on the first shot of the game for the opponent. Yep. It was a really great play by Macklin Celebrini. Like, there's really not much more you can do. He made an incredible individual effort to get around a poke check and then put a kind of slap shot, wrist shot pass off of Graf's stick for the first goal, who's in perfect position. It's just hard when you're playing from behind. They did tie it up there in the first, but they just are struggling kind of, I think, to penetrate the middle of the ice in the offensive zone. A lot of the power play stuff, right? Like, it's kind of moving around the perimeter well, and I think there's some good east to west passing, but it's just too much passing. And before you get a good shot off, it's either getting sent out or it's getting blocked. Shots get blocked from the point all the time.
Yep. I don't want to cut you off, but you've touched on something that has frustrated me for a long time with the Canes, and it's popping up a lot, which is it's almost like any individual play, barring some play by Freddie and a couple turnovers and things, but any individual play isn't that bad, right? Like, oh, that's a decent pass. Okay, I don't hate that decision. Another pass. Okay, another pass. All right. Okay. But when you put them all together, it's like, no, that's not good enough, right? Macklin Celebrini, great play by him. Okay. All right, that's another goal, another good play by them. All right. It's like it's at some point, it's not just okay. Like each individual, they always say, great offense beats great defense or vice versa, whatever, right? That works once or twice, but you can't be sitting there at the end of the game just going like, it was a good pass. It was another good pass. It was another good pass. At some point, you got to shoot.
The really big thing is that a big hallmark of this team is normally the penalty kill and how good it is. And I know that they've been missing Jacob Slavin so much. And the other team's power plays, like the Sharks have a good power play because they have a lot of talented young playmakers on that team. And obviously they were able to capitalize last night. They just, look, I know it's not going to be the big saving grace. Like it's not going to be the one magical thing that fixes everything when Jacob Slavin eventually comes back, because you have to assume he probably won't be completely 100% just right off the rip and playing at the super elite level that we know him to have, but it's definitely going to help.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know what it is. Rod Brindamore mentioned in some of the media after the game that he's actually not a fan of having a homestand this long because he feels like they've kind of fallen into a little bit of a rut. And I could definitely see that because you just kind of get a little too comfortable when you're hanging out at home. It's not on the road. You're not as focused kind of at the task at hand. I guess I could see how that could happen. So, look, they finish off the homestand tomorrow. It's the last game for this kind of 20th Cup anniversary series they've been doing. So hopefully they'll finish it out strong, and then just kind of the switch up of getting back on the road, especially going to a divisional opponent that has overtaken you in the standings as of now. But I think in terms of points percentage, I think the Canes would still be ahead. I know it's neck and neck right now, but that's a big game. But hopefully they finish out strong, and who knows? Like Slavin's been practicing, would be a pretty good comeback, 20th Cup anniversary game, last game of the homestand if he was able to come back tomorrow.
And well, they do have the Old Timers game today, right?
Yes, alumni game tonight against the NC State Ice Pack.
If any of them look that good, just bring them back.
Yeah, let them get a couple reps against the college kids. They'll keep them moving.
Here's my official take on the Slavin return. Slavin is I have so much confidence in him being steady Eddie, right? Even if he's physically, a little out of shape or whatever from dealing with the injury.
Because he'll be in position no matter how fast he can skate or how quickly he can turn.
Mentally, positionally, communication-wise, he's Jacob Slavin. I'm not breaking any news there. But I want to make sure that when he comes back, the team recognizes, all right, this can be a fresh start, right? Everything that we struggled with, that was pre-Slavin. That was sans Slavin. If they can make a way through the game and use that as a spark, then I'm with it. But I don't think he's going to solve the power play, right? He might solve the penalty kill. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's going to solve why Logan Stankoven isn't producing. Other than it might just be a cheerier environment and get them out of that rut you were talking about. But I also don't want to put all that pressure on him, right? Just come back, play well, you'll be fine. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have some numbers game coming up next. Do we know what the prize is for today?
Yes, $25 Auto Bell gift card.
$25 Auto Bell gift card going to the winner of the numbers game. We need two of you to call in and play now. 919-860-5326. You win the numbers game, you win a $25 Auto Bell Car Wash gift card. 919-860-5326. Call in. Numbers game next.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Philadelphia and the LA Chargers.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary, the original home of the no closing cost mortgage. Back in 1987, after closing my first no-cost loan, I knew that one day it'd become the trademark of my future mortgage company. I'd been a loan officer for less than a year and began to notice this trend of homeowners chasing lower rates while paying upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 in closing costs, in some cases twice in a year. Imagine giving up $40,000 of equity when all you wanted was a lower payment. And as much as I hate to say it, it's still happening 38 years later. Now, had I been like everyone else, I would have simply charged the fees and moved on. But I couldn't. Think for a minute about how many times your bank reached out to offer a free rate reduction and waived your closing costs. At Miller Lending, we want to be your loan partner for life. So why not pick up the phone and say goodbye to closing costs forever? 919-447-3377, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at MillerLending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender on MLS number 250-2146.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, $25 Autobell Car Wash gift card. We have Joe in Sanford. We have Greg in Raleigh on the line. They will be our two contestants for today. They will battle it out in jersey number trivia, the winner grabbing the gift card. As always, we'll bring both of them onto the show, ask them the same question. Max will be our judge for today. He'll pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first, and we'll go from there. Joe in Sanford, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Perfect. The question, as it so often is on Monday, is what was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports-related.
The highlight of my weekend has to be those Duke Blue Devils winning the ACC Championship for sure.
All right. Blue Devils winning the football ACC Championship. Appreciate it. We'll go to Greg and Raleigh. Greg, can you hear me? Greg, can you hear me? Uh-oh, Greg, you better unmute us. I don't want you to lose your spot. Greg in Raleigh, going once.
Wait, hold on. User error. Greg's connected. Hold on.
All right, Max is working his magic. I see him pressing buttons. Max on the ones and twos. Greg, can you hear me? Greg in Raleigh. Is there a delay? Is this like we're talking to him on the moon? Greg in Raleigh.
Just riff a little bit. I promise he's here. Hold on. I'm pulling him up.
All right, he's pulling him up. While he does that, I will remind you that tomorrow.
Hold on. Nope, got him now.
All right, Greg and Raleigh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, we got you. Better late than never, Greg. The question, same one to you. What was the highlight of your past weekend, the one that just ended? But because we're a sports show, make sure it is sports-related somehow.
Yeah, it's definitely Duke getting the ACC championship. But I'll one-up John or Joe in Stanford and say also getting the Michigan State win, Duke basketball.
All right, so you're throwing in the Duke basketball win as well. All right, appreciate it, Greg. You are both locked in. Max, who is it going to be? Joe in Sanford, who called in with the Duke Blue Devils winning the ACC football championship, or Greg, who seconded the ACC football championship but added a big Duke basketball win over Michigan State?
I feel like if he was just going to take the same answer, he should have led with the basketball win. So I'll go with Joe, but I can't fault them both for being Duke fans, but we'll let Joe go first.
There's a lot of people out there like, wait, you can fault them if you want to. No, so that means, let me make sure I get this right.
Joe in Sanford first.
Joe in Sanford gets to go first, and Greg and Raleigh, you will go second. Just have to stay on hold and wait a second. Joe, can you hear me?
I sure can.
All right. The categories for you to choose from are NFL players that are listed at 5 feet 9 inches tall or shorter, NFL players, we call them initial guys, all players whose first name are just 2 letters, NBA players that are from Canada, made in Canada, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go with the NFL shorty guys.
All right. These are all players that are 5'9" or shorter. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir. Let's do it.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Blake Corum, Los Angeles Rams.
11.
Incorrect. Devon Achane, Miami Dolphins.
22.
Incorrect. Blake Corum, Los Angeles Rams.
18.
Say it again.
18.
Incorrect. Devon Achane, Miami Dolphins.
12.
Incorrect. Blake Corum, Los Angeles Rams.
22.
Correct. Trey Tucker, Las Vegas Raiders. Hey, right under the wire, you avoided the shutout. So you got the one with Blake Corum being 22. Achane, we were looking for 28. And Trey Tucker, I know you didn't get a chance to answer, but for those of you playing at home, Trey Tucker on the Raiders, we would have accepted 1 or 11. He's worn them both. So 1 is the leader in the clubhouse for Joe. Joe, stay on hold. We'll see if it holds up. That brings us to Greg and Raleigh. Greg, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL initial guys, all players whose first names are just 2 letters. NBA, made in Canada, all players from Canada, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go with the NFL.
All right, NFL initial guys, players whose first names are just 2 letters. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You need at least 2 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. CJ Stroud, Houston Texans.
7.
Correct. RJ Harvey, Denver Broncos.
Pass.
JJ McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings.
9.
Correct. BJ Hill, Cincinnati Bengals.
18.
Incorrect. AJ Cole, Las Vegas Raiders.
81.
Incorrect. RJ Harvey, Denver Broncos.
3.
Incorrect. BJ Hill, Cincinnati Bengals.
32.
Well, you got the exact number you needed to win. You got CJ Stroud and JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy. These lists are put together sometimes way in advance. I mean, the guy's whole persona is 9. So that one was right there for you. But 2 is enough for the win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You get the $25 Autobell car wash gift card. Just stay on the line and make sure Max grabs the info he needs to get you your prize. And for those of you playing at home, RJ Harvey, Denver Broncos, had a good game this week. 12 or 37 we would have accepted. BJ Hill with the Bengals, 92 is the number we were looking for. And AJ Cole, an NC State guy, punter, with the Raiders, number 6 is the number we were looking for. That's how it goes. Big win right there for Greg in Raleigh. And thank you to Joe for playing as well. We'll do it again tomorrow and again with those Autobell gift cards. So, we hope to have many of you call in and try again. If you don't win, you can keep trying again. If you do win, you got to wait a certain amount of time. But that's, neither here nor there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on here, I do want to let everybody know another way you can win. The 10 Days of CanesMas, presented by Hardee's. Get the Hardee's app and join my rewards right now and get hand-breaded chicken tenders BOGO every Tuesday through June 22nd. It's also presented by Surfside Vodka. Whether you're watching hockey or warming up by the fire, there's nothing better than enjoying your favorite Surfside canned cocktail to keep the good times going. In the 4 o'clock hour tomorrow will be the next time we reach into the magical red hat and pick a prize for one of you to win something from CanesMas. And as we said earlier, Canes speakers or Bluetooth speakers, Canes grilling sets, Canes duffel bags, Canes penny hockey, coolers. There's a lot of really cool stuff that you can win, but you have to call in when it's time for CanesMas, which will be tomorrow and every day for the next 10 days, including today, the 10 days of CanesMas, brought to you by Hardee's and Surfside. You know what? We're going to take this break a little early because we have some explosive audio from Will Wade in the pregame of NC State's win over UNC Asheville that we want to make sure we can play for you. There's a bunch of it, so stick around. We'll get to it next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Aaron Rodgers is the latest face in what has been a continuous problem for the Steelers. And I don't blame their fans for being upset. And I mean this with all due respect because you can never take away the resume from Aaron Rodgers. But Steelers fans are probably sick of a consignment quarterback. They're sick of them just shopping around in the offseason, and they don't have the quarterback of the present and of the future.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the sound of Claire, cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd. To the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
This Christmas, gift deeply. At Bailey's, we know jewelry is more than just something sparkly. Each piece carries meaning, emotion, and love. Discover the largest selection of designer jewelry, diamonds, luxury timepieces, and gifts for everyone special on your list. Give a gift that says everything words cannot. Beautifully wrapped in our iconic Bailey box. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, Greenville, and Charlotte, or at baileybox.com, because every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Is going to your local bar the worst part of your day? The bartender ignores you, mediocre food, warm beer? Then why go there? Take 5 minutes and drop in at Sharky's, where they'll give you a free evaluation, and you can learn about all the bars that you shouldn't go to. Sharky's has helped thousands find the right bar to hang at. What are you waiting for? Sharky's evaluation could be the cure to the worst part of your day. Change your bar, change your life. Sharky's, 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
Excuse me, garçon. I'll pick up the tab for the lady and I.
Sir, this is Monopoly money.
And there's more where that came from.
I'm calling the cops.
Don't waste your time. I have a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Start playing for real money. New Monopoly scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have real cash wins of up to $1 million. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.83 to 4.28. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Max, as always, closing out the show when he produces with Michael McDonald. Can't explain it.
If Michael McDonald has no fans left, I must have died.
Have you always been a bit, is this a new development to your Michael McDonald fandom? I'm not saying you shouldn't be a Michael McDonald fan. I'm just saying it's a bit unusual to be on that island.
I don't think it's an island. Why is it an island all of a sudden?
I think if we went full Family Feud and we polled 100 people your age,
at least 15 would say that they like Michael McDonald.
Not just
probably
like,
40
would
say that. Who is that?
If I said name your top 3 artists,
they wouldn't say top
Is McDonald
3.
In there for you?
Yeah, he's up there for me.
Okay, then yeah, that's the island you're on. McDonald is a top 3 artist.
That's fair. I didn't see
Could
him
I have
on...
gone, if I said top 1, would you have said yes?
Top 1? Ooh, that's...
Okay, but
maybe.
Comfortably top 3.
I would say comfortably top 3.
So if I polled 100 people your age and said, is Michael McDonald one of your top 3 favorite artists, you're on an island of 1.
That's probably true. I did not see him on any other Spotify Wrapped that got posted the other day. I saw a couple of people that were rocking with Yacht Rock, and I actually saw quite a few of my peers who had a listening age older than mine, if you can believe that.
So my question is, before I keep teasing you about it, is this like, a font you used to go to your grandpa's house and he always played Michael McDonald and it reminds you of the good days? Like, I don't want to be disrespectful.
Well, Michael McDonald specifically, I don't think I got really into his music until like probably the last couple of years, but I've always been into like 70s and 80s rock and yacht rock, and like my dad really liked Billy Joel. So we listened to like Billy Joel radio on like Sirius when I was riding the car with him growing up. So
no disrespect to Michael McDonald. I think Billy Joel probably has a wider net.
he's more known.
Yeah. I think that one makes a little bit more sense.
I like Billy Joel too, but
do you know what is a debate that we had at the beach a year ago that like went for a long time? Elton John or Billy Joel?
That's a good. It's just two
people
different.
on both sides were.
It's like Coke or
ferocious.
Pepsi. Like they're like two different things.
Oh no, they are. Well, they are different. I don't know what was your Coke and Pepsi?
I mean, they're just two. They're different. One doesn't necessarily have to be better than the other. It's just what are you feeling on that given day.
Well, okay. All right, you're copping out is what you're doing?
Well, I mean, I would take Billy Joel.
All right, there
but
you go.
I like Elton John too. Like some days I want to listen to Elton John.
You hate Elton John, you love Billy Joel, and it's time to hear some audio from Will Wade. Take that up with Max, everybody out there. Will Wade, before the NC State UNC Asheville game, spoke with Matt Chazanow, the voice of Wolfpack basketball, and let's just say he was not afraid to make a statement. The Will Wade candid, brash, maybe stream of consciousness interactions with the media, he lived up to it. Here's Will Wade on the team not having enough edge.
Well, we haven't had an edge to us. Even in our wins, we haven't had an edge to us all year. So I've tried very calmly and very nicely, because, look, you can only go so far with the head coach leading. I've tried to kind of let the players take the reins on everything and do things. But it just hasn't worked. This looks nothing like our teams have looked in the past in terms of just our passion, how hard we play. And we've been playing some of the wrong guys. And so today, hopefully, look, it may not be pretty, but it's going to look gritty. It's going to look grimy. We had terrible practices leading up to Auburn. That's the least confident I've ever been going into a game. And we were hoping something good would happen for us, something fortuitous would happen to us.
Them's be fighting words.
Well, if you think that was the first part of his answer.
Well, we want to play more, but I do want to point out, after the Auburn game, he called it progress, right? They lost to Auburn, and he said it was, I forget the exact term, but he used the term progress, step in the right direction from where they were in Maui. So there must have been something that changed, like maybe they watched the film and didn't like what they saw. Here's Will Wade on the team rewatching how much Auburn outplayed him.
If you look at, we have all this data. You can get all this data. So you look at the data from Auburn cut 15% harder than we did. They covered the court 16 more times than we did. They just played harder than we did. And it was very glaring for our players to see it. I watched the entire game with them on Thursday, and we watched every bounce, and we were in there a long, long time. And everybody got to see it. Now, hey, I understand. We're going to give some of these guys an opportunity. Some of these guys sitting on the bench are going, why the hell are they playing? I can do that. I can get out there and get beat defensively and throw up bricks. They're going. I agree with them.
How about it? That's the gift and the curse right there. Will Wade preseason. I remember him talking about Paul McNeil and his shooting in practice, and he had charted the stats on every shot he took in every situation in practice, and I was like, wow, they're really into the stats. Right, really, like you can't argue with that, right? Film don't lie. This is the percentage he shot. This is the percentage he shot with a defender nearby. This is what he da-da-da-da. Well, if you're not hustling and they have all those stats, they're going to notice too. They cut 15% harder than us. And there was more. Will Wade used the term hostile takeover. This is what he had to say.
We got guys who don't want to go to the glass. We got guys who don't cut hard. We're not very aggressive with our switches. And like I said, I've tried to give our guys some patience to work all this out. But the last couple of days, this has been what you would call a hostile takeover, because I know how to do it. And we've done it everywhere we've been, and we're going to do it here.
Oh. We've done it everywhere I've been, and we're going to do it here. That's fascinating to me because that's drawing a line, right? It's not me. It's them. I've been a part of it. I've been a part of where we play hard. I've been a part of where we do everything I'm asking them to do. They haven't. That's an interesting move by the coach. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I mean, I think he went into this interview with a plan, right? This doesn't seem like, he just, on a whim decided to light his team up to by the way, like state-owned media. Matt Chazanow is like part of the team broadcast, right? This is not off the record and got confused. This is very, very well placed. Will Wade. Let's jump to the NBA section here. He called it a joke that some of the guys on his team think they're going to the NBA.
I told our guys, hey, there's an NBA scout here today for them, not for any of us. We had 3 GMs at the Auburn game, and we play like that. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We got guys who think they're, we got guys that, think they're going to be in the NBA next year. It's a joke.
Listen, when your voice gets that high, you're mad. Was that a mean impression? I don't know. Wasn't intended to be. That was just the best I could do. Voice a little scratchy right now. This is high wire act. This is a high wire act being done by a coach. To be this brutally honest, assuming that he is being honest, but I have no idea why he wouldn't. To be that brutally honest, to rip the Band-Aid off in that way to the media, you better have the trust of your team, right? I'm not saying it's insulting, but there's some definitely elements of insults, right? It's a joke that you think you're going to the NBA. It's a joke. I'm sure that wasn't part of the pitch when you brought these guys in. Like, there's no chance you're going to play in the NBA. I'm sure it was more positive than that.
I think he's really just – it seems like he's coming at them. It's not even just like, making plays or decision-making. It sounds like effort is like the bottom line of what he's trying to get at. They're not getting aggressive in terms of rebounding enough. He talked in a couple of these cuts about getting beat to loose balls and things like that. So it sounds harsh. It might be a little bit of coaching through the media as well, trying to get them to maybe play a little harder where there's a perceived lack of that effort. But I do wonder what it was like after the game, too, because it wasn't – I mean, he did say it wouldn't necessarily look the prettiest before that game, but, it really wasn't the prettiest effort against UNC.
It wasn't
Asheville.
the prettiest, and
the shooting wasn't great, though. So I don't know if in terms of effort on the court, it was up to par for what he was looking for outside of that. But again, it wasn't a stellar result.
Here's what stood out to me, because I didn't hear any of these quotes until after the game. Watching the game, I didn't see a team playing with their hair on fire. And if my coach, who knows if he said it to them, like we weren't in the locker room. Maybe he got all this off his chest to Matt Chazanow and then didn't, relay it in the same way. But if that didn't get you to play with your hair on fire and run around and fly around, I don't know what would. Like almost to the point where you're picking up fouls in the first 5 minutes because you're so aggressive and you're boxing out so hard and you want every rebound. Like you played like I was thinking of things in football references. Like you played to the echo of the whistle after your coach lights you up like that, right? You're doing everything you possibly can to strain for an extra yard after that, and I didn't notice that. It didn't stand out to me, and I don't know how you don't after that. And here's the next part. I don't know, like, again, I think next game would obviously be a big kind of test, right? Because this is when all of this comes to fruition. It was right before the game, and I assume he said something along the lines of it to the players. But later this week, on Wednesday, they play Liberty. If they don't look dramatically different in effort and energy and physicality, where do you go from here? Is there another level of yelling in the media that you can do above calling them jokes?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And Liberty is a very high-octane three-point shooting team as well. So your rebounding has to be on point or else they could make you pay. If they have a good shooting night, they're going to put up a lot of points. So you have to be dialed in. It's not someone to take lightly. I mean, Liberty's been to the NCAA tournament handful of times over the last couple of years because they're a contender in that conference like every season.
I always go back to this. The defensive coordinator for the University of Delaware when I played there, he's now Super Bowl winning safeties coach for the Bucks. His name's Nick Rapone. Coach Rapone is a interesting character, okay? There were times where he'd be cussing out his defensive backs, and I'd be like, yeesh. Like, oh, sorry, guys. Like, that is real. But the relationship he had with players on that defense was unbelievable. He could insult their play in creative ways that I think would start fights if other coaches said it. But because of the relationship he had with those players, they would take it as constructive criticism, and they wanted his approval. They wanted his, like, it was unbelievable. And the only time you'd really ever see him soften is when one of them got hurt. And all of a sudden, he'd be taking a knee, and he was an older guy, taking a knee, hands on either side of their face, telling them he loves them, and it was like, goodness. I'd be looking at my offensive coordinator like, why don't we have a relationship like that? And it was unbelievable. And if our, the offensive coordinator wasn't that magnetic or whatever with our offensive staff, he couldn't get away insulting us like that. There would be pushback. There would be different things. Receiver would battle back. Coach Rapone could do it. If Will Wade is that guy, right? If he has that relationship where he can say, you think you're going to play in the NBA? That's a joke. Your effort, your energy, not even close. This is nothing like the teams I've coached in the past. If he can say that, we need to know more about the relationship between him and his players. And I can hear everybody saying, like, oh, soft. Like, no, it's not. It's like you can coach players hard. They can take criticism. That doesn't mean you don't have to, like, be it a part or earn the right to be that harsh. It can't just be coming out of nowhere, lighting them up, and then moving on. It's got to be a part of a give and take between a coach and a player.
It must have been just the things that came up in film must have been, I guess, more troubling than he had initially noticed during that game against Auburn. But I'm sure might be feeling a little pressure that he put on himself, too. Like, he came in the opening press conference and guaranteed that this team is going to make the NCAA tournament and is going to be competitive. And they haven't picked up. They picked up a couple decent wins over VCU and Boise State, but they're still seeking that resume booster. They got a big opportunity. I'm sure he knows this. It's a important game on Wednesday, but it's a massive game on Saturday at home against Kansas. And I think he knows this team has to step up their level to make sure they can compete when you've got the likes of Darren Peterson over there, who's going to be first or second overall pick in the NBA. You've got Badunga, who's a great college big who's going to be giving you problems on the glass. So I understand why he kind of wants them to amp up their level, particularly when it comes to rebounding, pursuant to, again, playing against Badunga there on Saturday and Kansas.
I will give a little bit of a shout out to Van Allen Lubin. He did play really well, with 20 and 15 or something like that. 23 and 15.
He's been playing quite well over the last recent stretch.
So there's some good stuff happening there. You brought up Darren Peterson. He's the super stud for Kansas. He's back for Kansas now. He missed a boatload of time. I believe got hurt against UNC or in practice shortly after UNC. Didn't play in the game against Duke. Didn't play in any game since then. So almost a month, and made his reappearance for Kansas yesterday in a win against Missouri. So you're gonna get the good version of Kansas. You're gonna get a ready to roll version of Kansas after you play Liberty. It's just rare. You don't see coaches doing that very often. You don't see coaches being that honest, that aggressively critical of their team, especially this early in the season, that often. But I do think that's part of what you signed up for with Will Wade. You didn't sign up for hugs. You signed up for a winning basketball team. And if that's not there, I don't think he's going to be offering many hugs. Definitely not verbal hugs, because that was pretty aggressive. And shout out to Matt Chazanow and everybody over there with the broadcast, because obviously they got the quote. Way to go. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, have yet to do this today, so I will ask you all a favor. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan, and download our app, 99.9 The Fan. Trying to build communities and things and put all the fans in the same spot so we can all interact with each other, and there's a bunch of giveaways. So 99.9 The Fan, the app, and on YouTube. Also, we have Panther Talk coming up next. How'd the bye week go? What do they have up their sleeves for the final 4 games, which could decide their postseason possibilities? You heard me right. Postseason possibilities for the Carolina Panthers. So that's coming up next right here. Thank you to Max for keeping us up and running today. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, enjoy Michael McDonald and have a great night, everybody. See ya.
Do you have a smartphone? Of course you do. Do you have a pocket or pouch or human hand to hold your smartphone? Then you have no excuse. Download the 99.9 The Fan brand new app today and take us with you.